It's a Sunday in May, and Ron Dennis, boss of Mclaren, is a happy man. A few minutes ago, Ayrton Senna crossed the finishing line in Monaco to bring the Mclaren team its 102nd Grand Prix victory. Winning here is an unexpected bonus. Dennis knows that the rest of the season will be a different story. The Williams team, with their more powerful engines, remain favourites for the championship. And though Senna may be celebrating his third victory this year, his contract with McLaren has yet to be signed. And Ron's other driver, American Michael Andretti, has only finished twice in the last 6 races. So as Ron toasts Ayrton's lead in the championship, he knows all too well the challenge facing his team just to keep in contention. It's in Portugal, 4 months later, that the season reaches its climax. Since Monaco, there have been no more McLaren victories. Andretti has gone, and Ron arrives knowing that his off-the-record views about Senna have been misquoted in the press.
I think Ayrton's a little upset. I've been tweaking his tail a bit in the media, which is not normally my style, but it's all been done with humour. I don't think he's smiling yet, but hopefully he'll be smiling tomorrow.
The Estoril circuit is awash with rumours about Senna's future. Now in 3rd place in the championship, he's frustrated with his engine's performance and faces a challenge from a new teammate. The new boy in car number 7 is McLaren's Finnish test driver, Mika Hakkinen. He has replaced Michael Andretti. This will be Mika's first Grand Prix for McLaren. For the next 3 days, Ron Dennis will be in the thick of the action. He's pleased with what the team have developed since the last Grand Prix. The car's performance has been significantly improved. Usually Ron concentrates on Senna's car with Ayrton's race engineer, Italian Giorgio Ascanelli. This weekend, other members of the team get his attention too, especially Hakkinen's engineer, Steve Hallam.
Let me give you a few things what I would like to do. You have a map. I would like to change a few things, definitely.
Mika is putting his experience as a test driver to good use.
Yeah?
So you set the guys together. So, one thing, people knowing about that we've put a new system on the car, and it's one thing them knowing about a braking system. They must even give a remote indication of how it's achieved. And there will be a lot of people looking for the understanding, so we must just close off any dialogue on it.
So far in this Friday practice, Mika is doing well.
8 total 6 times, Mika. 8 total 6 times. And after this tire is going to come off, yeah? That's correct. Right, let's go. 10-4. Racing driver, not highway patrol.
It's been a long time since Ayrton Senna faced competition from his teammate. It's put him on his mettle.
You could put on gearbox 1. Gearbox 1. The 7.5 left hand without the just start about there. 47 of front right is lower and lower.
Ron is proud of the team's technology and the competitive edge it gives the cars.
To us, it looks like a series of, of irrelevant data lines, but based on these numbers here, we know exactly where it is on the circuit. And then go into this car system, and he will program the car to be 1 millimeter lower that moment. And the moment the car gets to that reference point, the front goes down 1 millimeter, and we actually program each corner 4 times, so the car changes its suspension characteristics 4 times in every corner.
So I would be looking to increase this first run by maybe 1 or 2 laps to get a good feel for the car, so that we get a solid change, another run followed by the final run on new tyres. I think that's what we'll have to do.
if you're going to do that, I'd put another lap on here.
Another lap on that one.
But it's only my suggestion. You do what you want.
I like to think that I have something to contribute. Obviously, having started motor racing in 1966, I've got quite a lot of experience to bear. But to be honest, it would probably function pretty well without me. When I'm talking to the mechanics or to Davey, the team manager, it's really to reassure myself that they're thinking the way I'm thinking.
I'll call everyone together and get them in the corner of the garage and say
If there's a little uncertainty, or if they feel indecisive about an issue, that I can add my opinion and hopefully contribute to the decision being taken correctly.
Like now.
And no loss of power at any revs.
Oh, there. That noise is a funny noise.
Ayrton is positive there's something wrong with his engine, but the engineers are not so sure.
If we believe him, which I'm sure we do, we've got no alternative than to change it. I don't think we should waste time on anything else. I think we've got to change it. He's adamant, I mean, that it's got the noise. The engine runs all right, all the valves are there, but I can't see any alternative to changing it. If he's adamant as the noise, I don't think he would say the noise, you know. What do you think? Would you leave it in? I'm asking you. I'm asking you. What would you do?
the problem's not that. The problem's the engine's going in there.
Do they change what appears to be a perfectly good engine simply because of a driver's hunch?
Well, we don't even have to change it.
Okay, this is the best engine. He's got the other three engines are down, and give him the option. Do you want to...
Team manager Dave Ryan decides to take the risk. When the old engine is stripped down, they find a defective camshaft. Ayrton was right. At the end of the first morning practice, Mika has done astonishingly well. He's almost as fast as Senna.
I may do, yes. But I'll let you know.
Meanwhile, Ron has a date with Finland's press, who want to know what he thinks of his new driver.
And what's the problem in a high speed is to understand. First on the back end, goes like this in a high speed and pushing the front.
Right.
And it makes the car very unstable. You can't really be hard on the power, because if you try to go on hard on the power, you're going to spun. And if you try to, you have to back off all the time to be under the limit. And,
Well, it's a shame. I mean, he's got two disadvantages. One is that he's too good looking. Another big disadvantage, especially around me, is he's got too much hair. The fact remains that he's very professional. Of course, there's a bit of immaturity there, but that's because he's young. I find it anyway extremely refreshing. You know, there's a little bit of naivety there, but it's a good value. It's not a bad one. You know, it's nice to see sort of the degree of innocence. I can just imagine the headline now in Finland. You know, Ron Dennis says Mika Hakkinen is immature and naive.
Time for the first qualifying session. Mika rehearses the drive ahead. It's a good session for Mclaren. Senna is third quickest, and Mika only 0.02 of a second behind him.
Your split time, you were much quicker than Mika. Up until the last corner, you lost a huge amount of time.
What's the second run?
traffic. Otherwise it was good. balance was basically the same what it was in the first one. Otherwise, it was good.
You can't say anything else but good in the last 2 days.
Tell you something.
He likes it.
Good.
Continue the play because he likes
Now
it.
let me tell you, good does not make the car go quicker.
No.
Yeah, but carry on saying that because he needs it.
Okay, you can get the best engine for tomorrow now.
Mika has driven well, but Ron is not a man to let him rest on his laurels.
You go and get on with your job.
What are we going to do now?
Well, you're going to go and do it's called technical debrief. I know that you probably haven't been to one of these before. It means you've got to work still.
Sure.
Look at all the data and try and make the car go quicker. What do you think?
In general, I'm very happy about the Rally pissed off with the last run.
Yeah, but let's put it behind you.
Huh?
Put it behind you. If you know you can do it, you can do
Sure,
it
I know
tomorrow.
I can do it, but it's just the traffic.
Same for everybody.
Same to everyone. I know that, I know.
You should be completely satisfied with your first day. And I can assure you the whole team is. So they're professionals, they know. They saw the split times and everything, so it doesn't matter. But get out your ovals and get to work. Make it quicker.
Yeah, I'm going to go. To make it good.
Good.
After practice comes a piece of news that stuns the paddock and has profound implications for the McLaren team. Alain Prost, who seems set to clinch his 4th World Championship this weekend, announces his intention to retire at the end of the season.
Vous en doutez un petit peu depuis quelques minutes. Cette petite conférence de presse est donc destinée à vous annoncer que je ne courrai plus en Formule 1 après le Grand Prix d'Adélaïde 93.
Now there'll be a vacancy at Williams, and it's no secret that Senna wants to fill it.
So has Ayrton actually made a statement?
Ayrton hasn't made an official statement, but he has said to me personally that he is, because I heard it all over the place and I just collared him. I said, Ayrton, please tell me what you've said. He said, yes. I won't be driving for you. I have decided to leave the team at the end of the season. It is a decision that I've had matured within me for a while. And I've learned for some time I had to change team.
Later that day, Senna, in an uncomfortable meeting with Ron, tells him of his intention to leave McLaren at the end of the season.
Quite used to going to work in the dark. In fact, probably you're more used to the dark than you are going to work, I suppose, really.
Yeah.
It's quite a busy weekend, really. I mean, you're seeing Prost's retirement, which really I was aware of 2 or 3 weeks ago. So it's certainly news to the world, but it's not news to me. You're seeing that'll probably trigger off Ayrton moving to Williams. I'm happy for Ayrton. I think maybe for both of us it's time for change, and I only think of the good times we shared, and I'm sure that he's going to win races in Williams, and I just hope that it's not too many, and that Mika's performance yesterday continues through and sees him offer a threat.
You can check me if you want.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh. You want my card. Nice one.
Yeah, and if he's going to be trouble, I tell you. This one's going to be trouble.
Ron and Senna patch up yesterday's row.
Let's try and do it best we can for both of us. Okay, we put behind us what happened.
For sure.
Good.
Even without you saying anything, that was my goal anyway.
Yeah, okay.
You know, but even without talking to you, if we didn't talk at all, I wouldn't change. I was going to go exactly as I always try. You know? There is no other way of doing it for me.
Right? No, there isn't for me. I know. I think you know that. I'm very sincere about what I said.
Whatever the drivers promise, they know the problem is power, as Ron reminds the men from his engine suppliers, Cosworth.
I can look at putting that sort of deal together.
And if you can't, then you've got to sit and talk, you know, in a way that, you know, allows both sides to feel comfortable that they've got the basis of a future. I want to win. If you make an engine that I can win with, then I'll use it.
It's 1 o'clock and the final qualifying session. Mika is keen to improve on yesterday's time. Mika has done remarkably well. He's third fastest so far.
You've got 15 minutes before you must get in the car. So, tell me.
What's the situation? I'm still third?
You're still third. Ayrton hasn't gone yet.
How's it feel on the springs? Any different or at a high speed or low speed?
Everything. Under braking, cornering. It's good fun.
Pressure's all right.
Tires, yeah. I screwed up the last one. I went fast, medium fast, fast. I slowed down and fast. Yeah. I went.
Lost the pressure.
I lost the first corner completely.
Right.
I'm gonna go in a truck.
Okay, go where it's quiet.
I want to see what Ayrton does, and then I want to go in a truck just to get the feeling.
There are a few minutes left before the end of qualifying. It's Ayrton's last chance to beat Mika's time. Qualifying's over, and to the team's surprise, the new boy has beaten the veteran by a fraction of a second. Mika will be third on the grid, and Ayrton fourth.
But in generally, to be third in a qualifying in a Formula One first time in my life, it feels exciting. And I'm looking forward to it tomorrow.
For Ron, it's been the best Saturday this season. For a while, he can relax.
Hello. Oh, boy. Hi, Charlie Rascal. What are you doing? Playing? Can I speak to Big Boy? Oh, hello, Big Boy. What are you doing? You're playing too. Golly gosh, sounds like a lot of playing going on there. Are you going to watch the racing cars? You're not? Oh, you are? Oh, not yet. Okay. Love you. Bye.
Sunday, race day. The cars are set up and ready to race. Now it's down to the drivers. The Finn, who's racing for the first time for the team, and the Brazilian, whose 6 years with McLaren are almost over.
I feel really good. I feel relaxed. And I know what I'm going to do.
What are you going to do?
Well, if you want to understand so, I'm planning to take a lead in the first corner and try to keep the others behind me so long time what I can. But because lack of power, it's very hard to do that on the straights, and it's going to be difficult. But we are good on the corners, and we have to wait and see.
What about the traffic jam at the first corner?
It's not going to be a problem. I mean, if I'm going to get the lead immediately, there's no traffic if you're leading. Thanks.
Cross took the T car, came in, jumped in the T car, sat in the car, sort of negative, shaking his head. I don't think excitement's the right word. You know, there's a pleasure in succeeding. There's a lot of pain in failure, and there's more failure than there is success. In the sport, so really you just know that one way or the other you're going to have some sort of emotion at the end. Most of the time it's negative, unfortunately.
Ron takes his place on the pit lane wall, where he'll spend the race.
Do you think Mika jumped the start?
No, I don't think so.
It's creeping. I hope they don't.
Deciding race tactics with Ron are Dave Ryan and the two engineers.
I thought you could overtake on this place.
No way. They are quicker than us on the straight.
Got to be clever on the stop. We want to stop early, not late, huh? Told you. See? Look. He's running a second. Say a second. How many laps before this gap is big enough to get in and out? Do you understand? So we can get out in front of Berger. How much do you think we need?
At least 16 laps.
On the 20th lap, before Ayrton's scheduled tyre change, his engine blows up.
Engine's blown up. Oh, he's blown behind you. I don't know what it was.
Okay.
Attention is now on Mika, stuck behind the Ferrari. A well-timed tyre change could put him ahead.
When are you going to stop?
We're thinking about it in the next lap or so. You're going to call him, Steve?
Say when?
Any time after he goes past.
Okay, I'm going to go for it.
Bring in Schumacher in as well.
Ferraris are coming in as well.
Stop, we got to say stop, stop, stop.
The tactic doesn't work because the Ferrari came in at the same time. Mika is still behind it.
We should have let it, as soon as we realised the Ferrari was coming in, we should have let him run. I don't think we should stop twice. I
think it's better. Well, let's just pan it out. How did the wear look, Steve? Just a little bit higher than prediction, but we should be able to make it on this set if we want to.
For 10 laps, Mika tries to get past. Then on lap 32, he tries too hard.
Learn by these things.
Just wondered if you do well.
No, I know. You did do well. Qualified third. Right? Put it behind you. Did a good job. Can't get changed.
In a weekend when Prost clinched the championship and McLaren's star driver is on the move, Ron Dennis remains determinedly philosophical about not winning the race.
Well, it's not the first. It's not going to be the last. I think you've just got to look for the good points of the weekend. I mean, Mika did a good job. Made a mistake, but, you know, just getting a bit frustrated, sat behind the Ferrari. You know, you just got to put it behind you and look forward. Monday mornings that hurt when you wake up and you know you think another one we could have won. You know, this would have been a race we could have won. That's motor racing.
Next week's programme follows Michael Andretti as he puts McLaren through its paces.
Montreal. It's nearly 2 o'clock. The Canadian Grand Prix is about to start. McLaren's second driver, American Michael Andretti, has everything to prove. With him on the grid is his race engineer, Steve Hallam.
See what they are just before the off. I may just bring the rears up a snip. I don't want to catch you out there, that's the only thing. They're quite nicely balanced.
Michael was one of the stars of America's IndyCar Championship when he joined McLaren at the start of the year. But his first season in Formula One has so far been an unhappy one. Out of 6 races, he has finished twice. Never a man to hide his concerns is McLaren boss, Ron Dennis.
Both he and I have one common feeling, which is that we're both disappointed. I mean, he's disappointed in his own performance, and of course I am too. As regards winning races, we're not doing the job that we need to do to provide him with the car and engine, and he's not doing the job he needs to do as a driver.
Team manager Dave Ryan is more optimistic.
Michael has got a lot of experience, he's a winner, but these cars are different. His approach has to be a little bit different. I think perhaps he's been a bit conservative up till now, and I'm sure we'll see an improvement.
McLaren's public relations chief, Norman Howell.
He's admitted he's found it tougher than he thought he might. He's not a 22-year-old youngster who's going to go all out all the time. You know, he wants to drive in a certain manner, and he's finding it tough.
Michael's wife, Sandra, is on the grid to boost his morale.
I think in the beginning it was quite an adjustment, but we're getting into a groove now, and I think he'll get the tiger eye back in his eye, because that's the way he used to run. And I think once I see that look on his face, then I'll know he's back into his race mode.
Racing runs in the Andretti family. Michael's home is in Nazareth, Pennsylvania, just a few minutes from his father, Mario, who has won 4 IndyCar championships and the Formula One World Championship. Michael's son, Marco, seems set to follow in the family tradition.
You guys going?
Yeah, we should get going.
Where are you going to go?
Yeah?
Where are you going?
I don't know, swimming.
Swimming?
Racing has made Michael rich, and in America at least, famous. Now 32, he started his full-time racing at 18 and was soon on the podium. He won the American IndyCar Championship in 1991 and was runner-up 4 times. When he signed with McLaren, he had 27 victories under his belt. Before each race, he gets a call from Steve Hallam.
Back from that hairpin is all flat then, right?
Right, from the hairpin, yeah. It's all flat. Well, I'm always...
Hopefully it'll be all flat.
Right. It's all generally flat up until that right-left in front.
It is taking time for Michael to get used to Formula One.
Well, it's just unfortunate. You know, we've had a start where the races just haven't gone well, and most of the problems have come at the start of the races, and I think the races that I did have problems at starts, probably the ones where I was running the best, and probably would have been on definitely podium finishes at a few of them, so that's frustrating.
Michael arrives early at the Montreal circuit. In the 3 days ahead, there is the chance of much-needed practice. Though this season, the number of laps a driver is allowed during practice has been severely restricted. The Canadian Grand Prix is the only Formula One event in North America, and as the only American driver in the championship, Michael is carrying the hopes of the local fans.
I think you'll find that with this engine the hairpins will be second gear. In fact, I'm sure
that's what it was last year, so yeah. It should be.
You can take first if you need it, and it's there if you want it, so. Mixture. Up to now we've been running in P4, which is the nominal 100%, but at Imola 2 weeks ago, Mika did pick some speed up by going richer.
We haven't tried that, have we?
No, and I want to try it here because here would be a place where we'd feel it. So not necessarily on your first run, but as we get into the morning, I'd like you to do a mixture span to see if you actually feel the difference.
We'll be talking to Steve Hallam, and we'll be discussing how we're going to break down each practice and what we want to try and things like that. And it's a lot more structured, I think, than it's ever been because of the way the rules are now. You're only allowed 23 laps of practice in the morning and 12 in qualifying, which, again, has been a little bit of a problem for me. But now you just have to structure and you have to maximize each and every lap. So we look into that very carefully together and how we're going to do it and what we're going to try and how many laps we're going to do in each run and what tires we're going to use and things like that. So a lot of thought will go into that. coming in here. He's not seeing it much of short. Needs to be flat out of there, I'd say. That's right. It's so bumpy through, you would be afraid of low drag, huh?
We've been helping him get used to Formula One, get used to the cars, get used to the way of working. There's a lot of technology on the cars, and you have to be, to get the best out of the package, that's the driver and the car, Michael needs to understand it, and we've been helping him get to grips with what the car can do for him.
For Michael, it's been a big leap from Indy cars to Formula One. His toughest challenge has been learning to handle these high-tech machines.
Big thing I had to get used to is braking. For instance, you come into a corner, an Indy car will basically have about the same terminal speed as a Formula One car on the same straightaway. But then it all changes when you come up to a corner because you're carrying a lot more weight on the Indy car, so you'll be braking. Say, for instance, you'll be braking at a 200-yard marker. With a Formula One car, you're going to go to a 100 or a 75-yard marker. So you almost cut the braking distance in half. So after 10 years of seeing things come at you at a certain pace and then braking in a certain place, now I have to tell my brain and reprogram it to say, hey, you got to go twice as far as you've done the last 10 years. And that's another thing that's been tough to get used to. Car jumps all over the place on the braking. Because I feel like I'm braking so early. Until I try it.
Yeah.
I try to carry speed, the car just slides, and then you screws up that apex, you know.
Okay. You still have understeer in the... oh, did we hurt your understeer with taking the front wing out?
No, it just made it less nervous, you know.
We went enough, did we?
Still can't do that 1.5, but there's a bump there.
Is that it's more because of the bump than the balance, is it?
Now.
Yeah.
Before it was...
It was balance, yeah.
It was awful over the bumps.
Being on the Mclaren team imposes another pressure on Michael. They're used to winning. Whatever the problems he faces, Michael knows what's expected.
Sounds like we've got, initially, sounds like we've got too much front balance aerodynamically. I think we ought to take some front wing out of it, and that'll help you loose, particularly there. The question is how much to take out. I have a feeling that we're talking about a hole. That's one hole both sides. Have a look at some data. We have time at the moment, and see if we can help you there. But the primary change is going to be front wing. Okay, so we do it.
McLaren's technology is among the most advanced in Formula One. The team can minutely adjust their cars to suit each circuit. They can do changes to the wing and dramatically improve the car's aerodynamics. They can precisely program the onboard computer and control the car's ground clearance on each bend. So Steve is constantly pressing Michael for more information about how the car is behaving.
What did you think to the tyres? Were they staying with you? I reckon we leave these tyres on. I don't know how you feel. My fear is if I put you a new set and you do 10 laps, which is what we've got now, if we go for the twos, we'll need to race on the qualifying sets. We'll stay on these. Right. And is it set up exactly with the program that we have?
Same program, I just refreshed it. So.
Michael goes out for a few more laps. Driver and engineer can talk to each other on the radio. It's not easy at 150 miles an hour, but it has its uses. Like this, when Michael has a problem with the car's bodywork.
Coming off the front.
So please repeat.
My bodywork is coming off the front. You know, my front bodywork.
Get you straight back out. Good. 1 second. Okay. Start up.
Problems with the car mean that after the first day's qualifying session, Michael is lying 13th.
We get 35 laps a day. You get 23 laps in free practice and then 12 laps in qualifying, and you've got to go out and do it. You know, if you haven't got things right, if you haven't quite got to grips with the circuit, that doesn't matter. You know, you're on the same footing as everyone else. You've just got to go out and do it. And I think for Michael, that's hurting him.
After every practice session, the drivers and their engineers meet to discuss what's right and wrong with the cars.
It's truly amazing what happens in debriefing, because the days of saying, you know, the car's doing this in one corner, I did this in one corner, and knowing that it didn't happen, they know everything. It's like big brothers watching you the whole time, and so you have to really think things out. And I think the way I try to do it and the way most guys do is you try to use that information for yourself. You try to go through everything so you know exactly what the car is doing. You know, a lot of times you think you're losing time in one spot, but you're really not. And it's really nice having all that information at hand, but it does take a lot more time than normal because there's so much data to go through.
A racing driver's job goes beyond the circuit. He needs to do a bit of glad handing for the sponsors. At Montreal, that chore falls to Michael. Another pressure on McLaren's rookie.
How to run today? Ranger! Good to see you. Looking well. Did you get all the stuff on everything? You do a good job? I sent everything up. Everything goes. Beautiful, very nice. When did you send it up? Just 10 minutes ago. How do you do it?
Saturday morning. Steve is not happy with yesterday's performance.
We weren't quick enough. It's as simple as that. Mechanically, we made some adjustments to the car, but the majority of the work was programming or software work that we were doing last night. Try and well, more than fine-tune the car. We're sufficiently slow to be making some fairly substantial changes. Ideally, we need to find a couple of seconds and more. Time will tell, and it won't be very long before we find out. I reckon we could go, Davey. What do you reckon?
It's time to try out the car again and see if last night's adjustments have worked. Michael's car is still causing problems. The right rear brake seems to be locking up when he enters a corner. He doesn't know why.
The groove, when they're braking into the hairpin, thing went like that, and I almost went straight off. It was strange.
Well, let's just try and find out what's gone wrong. Do you lock the rears? We might have a flat spot on the right rear.
Just across there, just if you run your hand just across there, you can, it's a definite.
There's evidence that you might have locked the right rear. They're not serious flat spots, there's a couple of them round it.
Yeah, there's something weird though. There's a reason why it did it, you know?
We're having a look now.
For that reason, I'm just keeping you as you are until we've identified what's going on.
Now the action moves to the technology located at the back of the pit. Every detail of the car's performance is logged by the computer. Somewhere in this mass of messages, there could be a clue to the problem. The engineers have just got to find it.
If I stick to the 7.7, I end up with a single time lap, and this is a check lap to see.
The problem is if we find something and change it and go in the field at the same time, what's that going to do?
The engineers discover the rear suspension isn't balanced properly, causing Michael's brakes to lock up. It could be a sensor on the blink, so they decide to change it.
It's a precaution, I can be able to change it.
Okay, so we think if we change it, it's recovered anyway, we've isolated the problem, it'll be okay.
Yeah, but just be careful just to check whether the connector is loose when you...
Okay, so I think we should drain the field as well instead.
Drain the field with the rear.
Check the connector.
We understand what's going on. It's a problem with the rear left stroke sensor. We're just getting into it now. It takes us a while to change it, so we're taking the fuel out and going on to light tank. Just bear with us, Michael.
Are you changing the stroke sensor on software, or are we changing it?
No, give me a minute to sort out exactly how we do this.
Oh, right. Do we have to calibrate it again?
We just enter the calibration into the system monitor. It's fairly
You don't have to have it sat on the ground?
That's what I'm just going to sort out. We're done. We can go.
Problem solved. Michael tries again. The lunch break before final qualifying. Hospitality is all part of the Grand Prix scene, with sponsors and special guests to be wined and dined. But it's strict rations for the drivers, prepared by a professional dietitian.
I'm preparing a vegetable soup today with a kind of grain corn. We call it grain corn in Austria. It's a kind of spelt wheat. And the reason is because it's very warm today. And therefore it's quite important to get a lot of liquid and electrolytes in the body, and with the soup it's a perfect meal, I would say.
Saturday afternoon, the second qualifying session, and Michael's last chance to improve his lap time. Unless he goes much faster, he's going to be stuck at 13th on the grid, not a position Mclaren is used to. "11 laps later, and Michael has improved yesterday's time. He's 12th, but still almost halfway down the grid. Formula One is proving a very frustrating business for the former American champion.
just finished final qualifying with Michael, and we're 12th place. We improved the car this morning. Unfortunately, we didn't reproduce our morning time this afternoon. I think the rapid rise in temperature this afternoon, or in between sessions, contributed to that. We are half a second quicker than we were yesterday, but it's not really quick enough. Touch disappointed all round, really.
It's time for some tactical advice from team boss Ron Dennis.
I actually believe that if you've got fuel, the best way to race here is to race. What I mean by that is to take advantage of someone screwing up at the end of the race. You've got to be as keep going all the time. I'm telling you, go for it. And now from now on, you just race the way you want to race, and we'll just live with the consequences. If you fall off, you fall off your own race. I think a relationship with Michael is relatively simple compared to the relationship that one has with someone like Ayrton, or in the past Alan Prost or Niki Lauda. In those instances, of course, you're dealing with drivers who have achieved their goals, the goals that we set for ourselves. They've won Grand Prix, they've won World Championships. What develops then in those individuals is an extremely strong and difficult to cope with character. And with someone like Michael, for example, he's yet to prove, and therefore it's much easier to handle, because you're obviously the boss, you've got the power, and you can administer that in many ways.
Sunday, race day. Michael's wife Sandra is optimistic.
I think he's feeling very well. He's really pumped up here. It's nice to be close to home. I've never seen so many signs in the crowd for Michael, and it's a good feeling. It gives us a good feeling to have that much support.
Feel okay. I mean, we probably, it's the worst we've qualified, but yet in another way it's the best we've qualified, and because I'm closer to Senna than I've ever been, and the car feels actually pretty good. It's just right now we're just hurting a little bit in the horsepower department, but it's a long race, and I think if we can be there in the end, we can make the points.
It's nearly 2 o'clock. In a few minutes, the Canadian Grand Prix will begin. These are the moments of maximum pressure for Michael. So far this season, his starts have often caused problems. If he can survive the first few laps, he has a chance of getting into the points.
S'il vous plaît, libérez la grille. Please clear the grid.
What Michael doesn't know, nor his engineers or mechanics, is that there is something wrong with the car's electrics. It may be a power failure or a faulty engine control unit. Either way, it's a disaster for Michael.
1 minute.
As all the other cars move off on the warm-up lap, Michael's car coughs briefly into life and then stops.
Started the car up on the grid. The engine fired. At the same time, everyone else is starting their own cars. We didn't hear it had stalled or cut out. And what had happened, there'd been a power failure, and Michael's radio, which is supported by the same power system, had failed. And so, until we spotted him sort of gesticulating and what have you, we didn't realize we were in trouble. As soon as we looked at the dash, we semi-understood the problem. We checked the jump battery connections and tried again,
And we also tried to crank the car in case we'd just lost the dashboard. We were really grasping at straws then. And it was then time to move the car off the grid to the end of the pit lane because the other cars were coming round and we were in the way. The car still would not start. And so we changed the engine control unit. And when we did that, the car started and we reassembled the car and Michael was able to rejoin the race. Unfortunately, by then, he'd lost 2 laps and we were making up the numbers from that point onwards.
Michael went on to finish the race, but wasn't in the points. Once again, the start spoiled his chances. On this occasion, it wasn't his fault. But in the competitive world of Formula One, results are what count, and team bosses are unforgiving people.
You have to assume, almost give him the benefit of the doubt, that he has the ability to win in Grand Prix racing. I think the big question mark is, you know, is he going to do it in a McLaren? Is he going to do it this year? And is he going to get there fast enough to satisfy the needs of the team and the people who invest in it?
Monaco, Grand Prix Sunday. Car number 8, Ayrton Senna's, is ready to race. For the mechanics who prepare and maintain his car, their job is almost done.
I don't think it's glamorous at all. You only see in Europe the airport, the circuit, and then you're back to the airport again. I like race day, I must admit. It always gives me a buzz. If I lose that, then I'd stop racing.
You concentrate on what you're doing. Even though there's a lot of distractions, you have to try and put the blinkers on and block things out, especially when you're doing everything in a bit of a hurry during a session, that sort of thing.
You have to work quickly and you have to work accurately, but you need to be able to do it and know damn well first time that the job you've done is good and sound.
I don't go around thinking, oh my God, this is, if I don't do this properly, this is going to be a disaster, and that. I'm always very confident with what I do.
At this event, the mechanics have had their work cut out. 3 days ago in practice, Senna suffered a massive crash. The car looks like a write-off, and most times it would have been. But this morning, the team has other ideas.
Mary, is it your channel too? I'm just walking up there, I'm running up there. We have to get the car back.
Senna is bruised, but safe. Ron Dennis, the McLaren boss, decides to attempt to rebuild the car in time for the afternoon qualifying session. The mechanics have 2 hours to do the job.
as long as you want. We can get out during practice.
Right, let's do it then.
First reaction was that there's no way we could have got it out for the afternoon just by looking at it.
We need one on each corner and one on the front.
It's been a long time since I've seen a car broken in such a state, one of our cars broken in such a state, and your immediate reaction is, well, there's just not a possible chance that we can fix that for the afternoon.
We're going to set it up here. We've got the marks of the other car, but we need Giorgio back here, over.
I think the way we did it worked quite well, was that we put a couple of people on what we call each corner, and Dave was at the front repairing the nose and master cylinders, etc, etc. I think I picked the worst corner because I was the one who had a problem, and if anything I was the one that was the last one finished, so I mean it didn't sort of look too good on me, I don't think, at that point.
Can you take the CV out?
Just leave that right here.
Ayrton Senna hurt his thumb in the crash, so he's checking to see if he can still handle the steering wheel.
We can move it over onto these ones, they're ready to go.
Are we saying that he's going to lead from here, or
lead from here and go into the pit lane? And you can spend a bit more time on it. We'll do the corner weights here. Brakes.
I'm pleased to say an incident as big as that, only once, you know, like every 3 or 4 years. There have been accidents and been damaged between sessions before, but that was almost obliterated, that car. And that was a full-on, all hands on deck to turn it around and get it out.
To the surprise and even congratulations of their rivals on the pit lane, the mechanics get Ayrton Senna's car back on the circuit for qualifying.
Basically, that's where we earn our money. Getting the car out as quickly as that in those circumstances, and it was raining, and it was wet inside, and it was uncomfortable, but the job's there to do, so that's how we basically earn our wages most of the time.
Thanks to his mechanics, Senna qualifies third on the grid. Then, in the same car, he goes on to win the Monaco Grand Prix for the 6th time. Here in Woking, Surrey, is where a Grand Prix begins for the mechanics. They are stripping down and reassembling the cars for the French Grand Prix.
Most people don't realise just how much work goes into the preparation of the cars. The question I'm always asked is, what do you do between races? The fact is that people think we just go from one race to another.
9-4.
No, every meeting, even between this French one and the British, we'll come back to the factory and prepare the cars here.
Okay.
17.1. So quite a large one.
The crew of car number 8 go to 16 Grand Prix events a year, and all but 2 start in the departure lounge of an airport, usually early in the morning.
You're all part of the team, aren't you? You're all just sat together anyway.
Doesn't really matter. If you can,
Yeah?
The team's advance party bound for France is 40 strong. Even on journeys, a strict dress code applies. It's the start of a long day for David Crabtree. He can only guess when he'll see his hotel tonight.
Hopefully. Well, it'd be nice to see it. It's around about 7 or 8 o'clock tonight. But it depends how much work we've got. Quite possibly a lot later than that.
May I have your attention, please? Monarch Airlines are pleased to announce the departure of their flight MON 1116 to Clermont-Ferrand.
What's on there? No, no, no.
It says Senna's toughest test.
What is it? His new girlfriend.
By mid-morning, the team is in France, en route to the circuit of Magny-Cours. It's a 2-hour drive, the best view of France they'll get for the next few days.
I don't mind driving. I always get the best seat. I've actually been driving Mclarens longer than Ayrton Senna. Well, they may not admit it, but I expect about 50% of the mechanics down the pit road are frustrated racing drivers, and would all like to have a go given the opportunity. Chances of getting lost are pretty good, I should imagine. To be quite honest, we can get lost in places we've been to for 10 years, so we've only been to this circuit like a couple of times. We're close to the circuit. Hello!
You're on the proper route now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You've seen that then, have you?
Yeah, we've seen it.
Okay.
2 o'clock, and the circuit at last. All the Formula One teams are fond of uniforms. They contribute to the brand image of the team.
What song shall I dress today?
For most mechanics, Formula One is more a way of life than a job. They work long hours in difficult conditions, but they've a stake in winning. They all get a bonus if the team finishes in the points. For Paul Simpson and his team, the Grand Prix now begins in earnest. For the next 3 days, and very probably 2 nights, their world will literally be the pits. One of the first jobs is to satisfy the scrutineers who enforce the rules.
Did you bring any over?
Even the driver's uniform and helmet are inspected. Formula One is a minefield of regulations. Breaking them can mean stiff fines or loss of championship points. Formula One cars have become more and more sophisticated, a mixed blessing for those who have to look after them. After each day's session will come the real work, when the setup of the cars is changed.
It's quite technical, and it's not as tidy as you'd ever like it, that is for sure. Get rid of it all, get back to a proper racing car. The nightmare for us is that all the wires, there's so much wires that can cut on any little sharp piece, and we have to watch all the time. I mean, everything is chafing and cutting, and it's just almost impossible to see everything underneath all the time. So many sharp edges. It's a nightmare. If we have a big disaster, it's a lot of work to prepare for another run. Here you go, old friend. There, old chum. Oh, get out! Join in a little bit, will you? Stop hiding.
At 7:30, the crew check into their hotel. It's probably the only early night they'll get.
That's where Simpson.
Mr. Simpson.
Mr. Crabtree.
Mr.
Crabtree. Sharing with Mr. Goodham.
What are you doing tonight, Gus?
Me? I'm going out with,
Shaky.
perhaps if I found the right room, I think it might help. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to see him.
To eat or drink or?
Yeah, to eat. But, I still haven't got the right I am. I'm in. Thank you.
Good night. See you in the morning.
Yeah, good night then. The guy I share a room with, Rick, who's in charge of Michael's car, has gone down with a virus. So I'm on my own this time.
That's what he thinks.
Nobody likes always on his own, every race.
Every race, by himself. It's his drinking problem.
Friday morning, the Mclaren team are the first at the circuit. Ahead lie 2 days of practice and qualifying, and then the race. After each day's session will come the real work, when the setup of the cars is changed.
Hello.
Wherever they are in the world, there's always one thing to remind them of home.
Cheers, dudes.
That was a good egg. What can I do for you?
Everything's 2 of your finest eggs with bacon, please.
For the mechanics, this could well be the last sit-down meal of the day, though that might come as a relief to a fragile Gary Wheeler.
Good man,
Cereals, thank you very much.
Are you sure you don't want some cooked breakfast, Gary?
Cool.
Get it down.
Get it down. I've just put one out, thanks.
Oh, look at all that grease and oil.
Yeah.
Have a bottle of wine, guys?
Don't drink much, thanks, Steve. No.
Tell me, can't.
I think Senna's all right, Gary.
Senna who?
Look at the wind direction now, because time tomorrow is what, 1 or 2 o'clock the race.
For the crew on Car 8, these are the 2 men that matter, Ayrton Senna and his race engineer, Giorgio Ascanelli. Whenever they put their heads together, it means more changes to the car.
Yes!
It's Giorgio's responsibility to decide how Car 8 is set up, and Paul Simpson's job to ensure that it gets done. And it's time to get started.
Rounds, and the last round of the day we change tires again. Are you doing something? Now, for the next set of tires, you want to correct it like this.
After today's practice, the car's setup needs some adjustments. Mark Lunnan is in charge of the gearbox on Senna's car.
I'm changing the gear ratios at the moment. They're somewhat hot, though, so I have to do it rather carefully. The oil temperature is about 100 degrees at present, which is its usual operating temperature. Ayrton feels that the ratios that are in the gearbox at present are not suitable, so I'll probably go for slightly shorter ratios to give him more flexibility. It's question of taking it apart, putting it back together again. We'll do this maybe 5-6 times in a weekend on each car. Some circuits you can even change 5th or 6th gear if the wind changes direction.
And you had to move the low drag on gearbox as well, and gearbox always have no drag. understand. I got completely...
Ayrton Senna is famous for making great demands on himself and others, something his #1 mechanic Paul Harding is used to now.
I think there's respect, and I think possibly it goes both ways. I get on well with Ayrton. From a mechanic's point of view, I don't have any problems, as long as everything's going okay. But obviously, in the heat of the moment, if things go wrong, then tempers can get a bit frayed. But I think you have to be fairly strong. And if you know that you're right, you have to say that you are right. And I think he accepts that. But if something goes wrong, just apologise and say I'm very sorry. And normally it's okay. I think that if it wasn't, things would have happened by now.
They deal with a very big responsibility, which is safety. So when they put a wheel in place, or brakes in place, or a wing, or a gearbox, or an engine, or cooling systems, lubricating systems, they are dealing with your life. If they get it wrong and you go on the circuit and you have a technical failure as a result of one of their mistakes, that is bad. And they are the ones that in the end put this thing together. So they have the ability to create, innovate by themselves, and as much as they are important in that aspect, they are also important as enthusiasts. They are all racers.
I think personally that Ayrton Senna is the finest racing driver of his era. He's quick, he's brave, and he gives more than 100% all the time. It must be difficult to work with a driver. Come Sunday afternoon, is prepared to race for 7th, 8th place. I like to work with a guy that will race to come first. Whether he's got a good car or a mediocre car, I like to see the guy try.
Therefore, if I disable segmentation, I will disable low drag. You have to remember to do it on your own, auto low drag, if you are on position 1. And as soon as you click in position 2, it's going to come up.
If you feel it coming in, it's going to come in also then.
Move it, follow to there. There, exactly there.
On the eve of the race, there is always more work to do on the cars. Another long night for the mechanics.
We got an ice cream for me.
Oh, look, I get first choice for a change.
Come on, I always come to you guys first.
Oh, look at these.
No, there's about 5 varieties. Mars. Shaky, crabbers, Mars, nuts, crunch, some nougat-y sort of thing. That's like a nougat, frozen nougat.
I don't like this, it's got nuts in.
There is a long list of mechanical jobs to be done, and many setup changes.
Now we can take the engine out. We put new engine in, new radiators, new gearbox, new brakes, check the fuel system. It's a complete rebuild now.
What's left of the old car then?
Just the chassis and the front suspension, if that's okay.
10:30 now, and you see that there's still quite a lot of teams still here. This is normal for us. On a good night, we'd be just putting down the shutters, but we've had a few hitches along the way, so it's going to be probably before all the team leaves. It's going to be probably another couple of hours, I would think.
This is probably an average Saturday night for us. It normally goes on till midnight, Saturday nights too. There's not a lot of people actually do series this time of the night, to be honest. This is the side of Formula One that people don't quite understand.
This is the glamour, is it? Yeah, I suppose it does have its glamorous sides, what I see on the television, but look around now, there's not much glamour, is there?
Race day for the mechanics begins with tyre change practice.
Okay, go.
Mechanics do the tyre stop and the truckies. Gary does the right-hand front wheel gum. David does the taking off of the left rear. I do the wheel gum on the left rear. And Mark does the right rear. He does the taking off. That's the 4 guys off of our car. And then all the other guys do the other jobs as well. It's pretty important for testing out all of the equipment, and also for us as well, to get us into the swing of things, ready for whatever happens this afternoon. Because you're involved in it then, you're involved in the race, and you can, on occasions, pick up places if you do very good pit stops, if the car that's in front has a slower one. So you contribute sometimes to an overtaking manoeuvre.
It's not long now before the start of the French Grand Prix. Right up to the start, work goes on. For the mechanics on car number 8, their job is almost over. After 3 long days and 2 late nights, now the crew can only wait. As their driver fights it out in front of the crowd, in the pits, the mechanics of car number 8 have a very different view.
Most of the time you can't even see the race going on, but you've got to be ready. We're always listening to the driver on the radio anyway, and you've always got to be ready in case he comes in, exits the last corner with a puncture.
Some circuits you can see a little bit, and you can see maybe the turn and that. Some circuits you can see nothing. So you just stand around and have a chat and watch the pit boards. If you watch the pit boards, you get some idea of what's going on during the race and how we're doing. You have to be sort of prepared for tyre stops, and they can come quite quickly. You know, there can be a shout at the last minute and the car can be in the pit lane, which is pretty good because it happens so quickly you don't have much chance to think about it, just do it.
I personally have never actually been to see a Grand Prix. I wouldn't know what one looked like if it hit me in the face, to be honest. I've never ever seen a Grand Prix.
In the event, Senna came 4th and Michael Andretti, McLaren's other driver, 6th.
2 cars in the top 6. I think we're pretty happy with it. Billy on Michael's car is, yeah, Billy's well chuffed with his 6th place. He's well happy with that this weekend. So, all in all.
So all that late night work. Don't say it was worth it.
Don't ever say
it was worth it.
It's Sunday in Monza, home of the Italian Grand Prix. In 4th place on the grid is McLaren's star driver, Ayrton Senna. As the start approaches, Giorgio Ascanelli, his race engineer, gives him some last-minute data.
What do you think? 1 PSI at the rear and 7.4 the front?
This will be the 155th Grand Prix of Ayrton's brilliant career. He's won a quarter of them. He's been world champion 3 times and holds a record 61 pole positions. But he's found this, his 6th year with McLaren, difficult and frustrating. He's rarely been happy with this year's car, because it's less powerful than the Williams. So he's been hard to motivate. In fact, he very nearly didn't drive this season. But Ron Dennis knows better than anyone the value of Ayrton's talent and worked long and hard to keep him in the team.
He is fearless, he is highly talented, but he's also highly intelligent. I mean, on the upside, that makes him probably the best all-round driver that's ever existed. On the downside, it makes life very difficult when you get into contract negotiation time, because he's every bit a match for me when it comes to negotiating.
The race at Monza, like every Grand Prix, really began 3 days ago, when drivers and team arrived for practice and qualifying. Thursday, Ayrton Senna flies into Milan in his own private jet. The rewards for a top driver in Formula One can be enormous. For Senna, they're staggering. This season, his fee for driving is reputed to be $1 million a race. Racing, with his other related businesses, earns Senna an estimated $25 million a year. Ayrton is hanging on at the airport for Ron Dennis.
What time is Ron arriving?
No one else would dare keep him waiting. They'll go on together to the hotel.
Half an hour.
But no helicopter for sure, huh?
No, we've got a car coming to wait outside.
To pick him up.
Both of you up.
Yeah, okay.
Hi.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good, and you?
Ron's close friendship with his mercurial driver was forged over 5 successful seasons.
We just drive together.
Yeah, of course. I'm a passenger.
Righty-ho.
This year it's been put to the test. It wasn't until mid-season that Senna's contract was finally signed, and only after nail-biting negotiations.
It was really an odd situation that the team wasn't ready. Neither I was ready to compromise much more than so much, you know. So we had to go hard and we had to fight.
At one stage he was sort of in his car on the car phone, you know, with like I'm just, you know, 20 minutes from the airport, you know, this sort of brinkmanship. Of course, he's probably sat in the departure lounge all the time winding me up, but, you know, you pay attention in those circumstances.
As a matter of fact, I said, forget it, it's over, I'm not coming.
We're tough guys, and we're prepared to break each other. But we both appreciate that once broken, the relationship would be extremely difficult to put back together.
It was an experience that I never had before in my whole career. And so However, from that experience, I promised myself, this is the last one, I will never do it again, you know.
But I think after the signature goes on the paper, there is an overwhelming feeling from both of us that we've exerted and used a great deal of energy just to arrive at a point which we could have easily arrived at earlier if we'd just been a bit more give and take. But that's not the sort of people that we are, and therefore the negotiation is always hard fought.
Senna heads off to the hotel. Waiting at Monza's rain-swept track is Giorgio, his engineer.
Notice the weather, so I very much doubt Ayrton will come here. He's arriving at 4 o'clock at Linate, and he was coming with Ron in a helicopter, but the helicopter hasn't left Cannes, so I think the chances of coming here probably... Right. I think it goes straight to the hotel. Yes.
Giorgio would have liked his driver to visit the circuit.
It may add a little bit of frustration, if you wish, but it's not really easier or more difficult. I'm here to do the job and doing the best with what I've got. If I haven't got a driver on Thursday, I will do without him. It's not a problem.
Friday morning, the first day of practice. Ayrton's fans are already out in force.
Hai ragione, ma ci hanno detto così.
Ordine, no, tra la vettura,
no,
non posso scendere lì.
No, infatti, ho fatto... È il più grande di tutti i tempi.
His immediate task is to get a briefing from Giorgio on the results of the recent car testing at Imola. Ayrton wasn't at the test. In fact, for most of this season, Ayrton has been reluctant to go testing.
2 Imola tests. Engine. We have had available to us a package of a new fuel and a new oil, a low-friction oil. The advantage on the fuel is about 0.3% on power, and on the oil is 0.4%. The total amounts builds up to about 5-6 horsepower. There is no problem of drivability, there is no problem of fuel meters so far. Lately is not on the top of his motivation. A driver like Ayrton Senna with 64 positions, 37 Grand Prix, 3 World Championship, and doesn't fight for the 4th place. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all, really. Vice versa. I knew him in better days. Right at the beginning of the season when he could smell the victory. Then he's demanding, he's pushing, he's interested, he wants to check out every detail. So thorough. Now he's a little bit different.
First practice. There are 23 laps this morning to set up the car. This is the start of 2 days' intense dialogue between driver and engineer, as Ayrton reports back about the car's performance on the track.
Not second to first to neutral. Not very nice. I think lost the track.
Most of the lap advantage that you can get from a driver is the fact that he is try something new which he can trust and he knows how to dominate. At the end of the day, I don't believe drivers like to trust modifications which have been issued under the comments of any other drivers, and Ayrton particularly. Ayrton is so thorough and so careful that any job you do, he's struggling to accept it straight ahead, which means effectively the first time on the session you are spending time to show him what we've done and what kind of benefit he can get out of it. If there is nothing else on software-wise which you would like to try, I will load the program in.
I will have low drag, or I don't have it all, or I don't have it and I have to do myself, right?
You have auto low drag enabled as you've done the last run. Therefore, if you build up confidence and you want to call for low drag before, just out of the Curva Grande, you are allowed to do it. I have not given you anything in gearbox function before.
So I don't have, I will have...
Ayrton's teammate, American Michael Andretti, is racing for the first time at Monza, but it's Ayrton's 10th Italian Grand Prix, so he knows the circuit well. At the end of the first day's qualifying, Ayrton is 4th quickest. Now, if Ayrton is to go faster, Giorgio needs all the information he can get from his driver.
I can do better, but he's running. He's running. I can do better. Half a second.
How is it?
Oh, it's not too bad.
Too much downforce then?
Huh?
Too much downforce yet. Have you run the curbs? I didn't see you.
On the chicane only. Slow chicane.
Can you do it? Is it upset?
No, you can do it. No, it's okay.
I'm not extremely psychologist myself. I think I'm Latin, and he's Latin, and therefore we can establish a little bit of a better contact. My work is to stay around him most of the time if he and grabbing information as quick as I can without pushing the issue too much and without upsetting him. I don't know how you can handle it.
Okay.
Do you want me to drive there and wait for them, or do you want me to stay there and get the map as quick as I can?
Get the map.
Ayrton, anything mechanical I should know?
Just we're too hot. A little
yes.
bit. We can open it here,
yes,
so it should be okay. Because it was front to rear balance only, so we open the front, we get better balance. The rear, it's okay.
In the world of Grand Prix, his exceptional talent and a ruthless determination to exploit it have made Ayrton a superstar. He knows what he's worth and will accept nothing less, whatever its cost to others.
In the modern Formula One, there is so much in stake between the teams and the organizers and the sponsors. It also all relates to drivers. If a driver corresponds to all the expectations, he gotta have in return a similar level of return. Otherwise, he's not doing it right. He's giving away something.
Oh, we normally talk in units of $1 million. I think that's pretty serious money.
At the end, you get paid what you're worth. You know, if you get paid $1 or $1 million, it's because it's what you can offer back. The only place is less of a problem is into Parabolica and into the first chicane on the braking, right?
Yeah, the worst is here.
The worst is the second chicane and into the third chicane. But it's because the asphalt goes like this, in the third chicane, and it's like this. In the second chicane is becoming bumpy, and then it's like you go against the ground basically, and the car is really down. You get low grip. It's tough.
The day's practice may be over, but for the drivers, there's still work to do. Tonight, the drivers have to be on parade for the sponsors and their guests.
Ufficiali Ayrton Senna e Michael Andretti.
Monza is a traditional time to think about the future. What is on everyone's mind is whether Senna will be with McLaren next year.
Next year.
Wait. that every year comes this time of the year is always, how are you? Okay. That look here. What's happening? It's not the most pleasant part of my profession, but nowadays professional racing driver is not only driving. There are a lot of other things you have to do, whether you like or not, in order that you can deliver the needs and the requests that the team personnel and team sponsors and fans and media and so on, particularly if you are successful. Therefore there is more of a pressure, more of a request for you to correspond. Well, I think I will go to bed early and she will go with me. That's a better way. And I'm not the only one happy about it. I'm sure she's also happy about it.
Oh.
That's much better. Now you look at the impeccable
Bye.
Bye.
Good luck.
Saturday practice starts as always with another briefing. Giorgio is armed with yesterday's and last year's data, though with today's damp track, it won't be easy to make useful comparisons.
Okay. No, you are going to 5th or 4th. Full tank.
That was full tank. Yeah. I don't think we will do that today. With a dry circuit, it is going to shift to 5th, yeah.
Okay.
And also the asphalt is different, Lasmo.
Yeah.
Much nicer, apparently. Looking in the wet is wet, you never know, but it looks much nicer. Probably quicker than last year.
This morning's first challenge is how to cope with the conditions on the circuit.
I think that the best we can do is trying to go out as late as we can. Unfortunately, everybody else is having the same idea. And as you can see, the Italian public is really disappointed by the fact that there are no tracks on the circuit. The circuit is open since 12 minutes ago.
You know, it depends if it gets properly dry in the afternoon, then it will make some difference. Otherwise, for today, we'll make no change at the front of the grid because the circuit is slower than yesterday. And unless it gets properly dry, no one will make good time in the afternoon in order to change the grid for Sunday. So, I have to wait.
Senna is right. In the damp second morning practice, no drivers better their times. But even in this weather, neither driver nor engineer relax in their effort to improve the car.
It's no good to be nice, you know, and to take it easy, because if you're going to be nice and take it easy, you might as well do something else, not in Formula One. Stay home or have a more ordinary profession. So being a competitive environment and a very tough one to live with, you have to be tough, you have to be hard. Sometimes it could be a little too hard, but better to be on the harder side than on the easy one.
Exit 1 mil down. From mid, exit 1 mil down. We are going stiffer on the rear now, right? After the turning, or we bring the front down.
His mental strength is just unbelievable. If he applies it, he's the most demanding person I've ever worked with. The others are not able to keep a very high level of concentration at the maximum limit for so long, like Ayrton does.
It's final qualifying. Try as he may, Ayrton cannot improve on fourth position. As usual this season, his McLaren is not as fast on the straights as the Williams. It adds to his frustration. he also misjudges the number of laps he's done and comes in one too early.
Not that it makes a difference.
Did I have one more lap or not?
No, you didn't. This was your last lap. You should have gone through. And not that it makes a difference, because it wouldn't have a difference. You wouldn't. I don't know if you could do a 22.0. I don't believe so.
Maybe not.
Fine.
Maybe yes.
Yes.
Because I back off. Get some time.
And not that it matters. But from now on, I'm calling you the numbers of laps to go as you cross the finish line. I am calling you on the radio. Right?
You got the message on the radio.
I did, and I came last lap, last lap.
No problem.
What, balls? You feel it? Or was it just coming down in?
Slow lap, because I tried to bring down,
and then go.
Then go.
So.
It's tough. I think when you are chasing to prove to yourself that you can win races or you can win championships, is one thing. Once you manage to do that, and therefore you know you can, you know how to do it, you know the way, and you know it's what it takes, to then be faced with a situation when you can't do it is really tough. Especially when you know you are in a good team that has got the resources and know how to do it well, even better than you because they did more times than you. It's tough to take it.
Sunday, race day. First stop, another briefing. This one starts with questions about fuel.
I think that we can run safely 4% leaner for the engine. And I think that the temperature is going to go up. Therefore, you have another 2% less. So I put 130 kilograms in the car. We'll see the figures after full tank, and then we'll think about what we want to do.
What?
And then you'll think about what you want to do.
How much you put in?
130.
An unscheduled visitor interrupts the discussion. It's former teammate Gerhard Berger, a driver with a more relaxed view of pre-race briefings.
Nice to meet you. You're Sophie. Patricia.
You got about to go? Yeah. Phone me. Okay. From wherever you're testing, and then we try to work out.
Yeah. But if you remember, it's just Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
It's not long before Ayrton's 155th Grand Prix. Now, all his concentration is on the task ahead.
You gotta have good awareness of the danger you are all the time, the risks you are exposed to. That's the only way for you to stay healthy in this activity, because otherwise you will inevitably find a bad day, you know. So naturally, as the time goes by, the more experience you get, the more learning you do, the better judgment you have over critical situations. And therefore you know when you can go a little bit over the limit because you can and it's worth doing it anyway. And when you shouldn't because it's not worth, or you just shouldn't because you won't get around it. So, you know, every time before I go into the car, I fear very much my health or my life. You know, I know I have a well-built car, well-prepared, by the mechanics, everything, but I'm using it to certain conditions that not always the car is capable of coping. And I know I can die, or I can have a tremendous impact in my future life. Therefore, it's a critical thing. It's an attractive situation because it is so much question mark into it, and you gotta use your instinct together with your experience, together with your desire to do it at a given moment. It's a mixture of feelings that you have to play together, basically. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. You get the right mixture, the right taste. And so it's a challenging thing to do, but at the same time, you got to be well aware of the danger you're exposed to. Otherwise, you won't get through the end of your career. I'm alert all the time, very aware of those places and the implications. So I am sharp. You gotta be sharp. You can't be indecisive. You have to be spot on. And it's something that the consequence is your life. Therefore, there is no compromise.
It's a dramatic start for Ayrton. On the first bend, he tangles with Hills Williams. Over the years, Ayrton's aggressive style on the track has intimidated many. His driving is as uncompromising as everything else about him. Fellow Brazilian Nelson Piquet even called him the Sao Paulo taxi driver. On this occasion, he's come off worse and dropped from 4th to 10th place. Over the next few laps, he works his way up to 8th, behind Martin Brundle's Ligier. Then on lap 9, he makes a rare mistake. It's the end of Senna's already slim chance of the championship.
The most difficult I have continuously is just incredible desire to win and to do my real best, and that is as strong as today as it was 10 years ago when I started Formula 1. And the difference only from 10 years ago is that I know today I can do it because I have done. I won 3 championships with Mclaren, many races, being very competitive in all kinds of situations that you could be in. So I know that I can do it as a matter of results, knowing sometimes that you just cannot do it because it's outside your control for technical reasons or whatever is really tough.
Was it brakes?
Well, I don't think so. I think it was simply that I didn't have enough ability to stop the car.
Okay.
Huh?
Good luck.
Yeah, that's fine.
Monte Carlo, one of the most expensive pieces of real estate in Europe. So it's an appropriate location to stage one of the most expensive activities in the world of sport, a Grand Prix. It will cost a team at least £10 million a year just to take part in the Formula One World Championship. To be successful will cost 3 or 4 times that. Everything to do with Formula One has a large price tag. A set of tyres costs £1,300. £100,000 for an engine. £750,000 to build a car. And that's before you count the cost of the drivers. To pay this massive bill, motor racing has turned itself into one gigantic billboard. The name of the game is a name on the car. In Formula One, sponsorship rules. Down the years, McLaren's marketing arm has found and indeed kept a group of major companies to sponsor its team.
We tend not to call them sponsors because that insinuates an act, a gratuitous act almost, a charitable act. We see them as partners or investors. They're making an investment. We believe we can deliver a significant return on that investment.
Very interesting contrast with Senna sitting quietly removed from the world in his car.
Every driver has his own little way of getting in the car. Gerhard, our driver last year, would just get out of the car straight away and sit over by the wall or the...
Did the others know that he hasn't got into his car yet?
No, they wouldn't know, but I mean, they really are doing their own thing. You saw the way the Ayrton was looking. I mean, nobody else exists.
McLaren has a different way of selling Formula One. We do not sell it on the basis of what it costs to run a team. To a degree, that is irrelevant to Courtaulds or whoever. They are not buying 2 cars, 220 personnel. What they are buying is global media exposure. We know, for instance, that each race is watched by 502 million people around the globe. That represents 1 in 10 of the world's population. We know that last year the Formula One World Championship got in excess of 7,000 hours of Formula One coverage. We know that McLaren got 25.4% share of that exposure.
Sponsors are notoriously coy about how much they spend. But McLaren know what they expect to earn from the available spaces on the car. Their asking price to put a company name on the unsold space of this front wing would be around $5 million. What does a sponsor get for such money?
What I think we get out of it is identifying Courtaulds with high technology, internationalism, advanced products, and winning. Both our customers and our employees. 80% of our customers are outside the UK. Some 45 to 50% of our employees are outside the UK. Those people need to see Courtaulds as something that is at the leading edge and worth being part of. This is a game that attracts a lot of attention all the world over, and it's identified as high-tech. This is where I want Courtaulds to be.
We've now been involved in this for some 50-odd years, and we're in it primarily for 2 reasons. Firstly, it enables us to put our brand in front of a very large international audience. And secondly, it enables us to provide our operating companies with communication stories that they can use in their advertising programs. We can talk to something approaching 500 million people 16 times a year. So that's a huge international audience where we can try and increase the awareness of our brand.
Tobacco companies sponsor all the top teams. It's advertising that escapes government health warnings. Tobacco's involvement with this glamorous sport is increasingly under fire. Critics say it sends a subconscious message to the viewer. This year, tobacco advertising was banned or restricted at 3 races. How does Ron Dennis, a non-smoker, justify such sponsorship?
We are promoting a brand name. We're not promoting an act. If you choose to do something, whatever it is, skydive, drive a racing car, go skiing, drive without a seat belt, all these things, I mean, they're legal in most places, and they constitute a simple human value, which is you are free to do what you want, and I think that's right. If people really genuinely feel that exposure to a brand name has some influence on them, then don't watch. I mean, have a choice. Turn the television off. I mean, I think that by and large people are watching the spectacle of the sport, and that's what they're enjoying.
With sponsors' money so crucial to the survival of the team, Mclaren lavishes a lot of time and money looking after them. On average, they will entertain 300 guests at a Grand Prix and offer them what they call the Formula One experience.
Monaco is probably the most difficult place to get any guests, or anybody else, team members for that matter. So we're going to try and make your day a leisure by getting this boat across, which is a simple 2 or 3 minute journey. We get off at the back of the grandstand, as we did this morning. Great. Okay, Steve?
Sounds good.
The most important thing we try to do for the guests when they come to the Grand Prix is basically trying to get them as close as possible to the action and as close as possible they can be to the team. A lot of people can go to a corporate event on their own, but we're trying to make them feel an integral part of the team and to make them part of the Mclaren experience, as it were, to really capitalise on their involvement with the team.
Is that close enough for you?
Oh my God. Former racing driver Jonathan Palmer is the expert on hand.
They're going to be coming down the chicane, down out of that tunnel there. They're going to be hard on the brakes, they're going to be going down, they're going to be coming out of that tunnel at 170 miles an hour. They're going to be hard on the brakes as they come down the hill, right down to first gear, and then left, and then right, and then accelerating hard, first gear, second, third, fourth. They go through that corner at probably about 120 miles an hour. It's one of the fastest corners on the circuit, and to give you an idea of the acceleration of these things, you can actually time it, but they'll be doing like 30 miles an hour to 140 in about 6 seconds, something like that down there.
There's an awful lot of competition out there, a lot of competition in the pit lane. We're going to make sure that we're one step ahead of the opposition, and that's the reason I think that the return on investment is perhaps better with us, we like to think so, than with any other competitive team.
The competition is just as keen between races. Back at McLaren's Woking headquarters, marketing chief Akram Sami has a potential sponsor in his sights. He's keen to clinch a deal before the British Grand Prix.
I've done it.
Yes? Good. Very warm welcome to McLaren. We've got some guests of ours from the Baluchi Company, which is a leading Italian maker of sparkling wines. The chairman of that company is here, Franco Ziliani, and his other members of the organisation. And the objective is to take Baluchi the next step. They're currently an associate sponsor. That means effectively that we use their sparkling wine products in our VIP hospitality all over the world. They are also a contributor financially. And our objective is to try and take them the next step, and they go into really fairly serious financial contribution.
On the factory floor, there is another challenge. So far this season, the cars have lacked speed. So for this weekend's British Grand Prix at Silverstone, the team are fitting a newer and more powerful version of their Ford Cosworth engine.
Talking every time, it's just not giving the flow.
Yeah, right. Well, it's calling for the correct ejection time, the same ejection time as all the others. So, first let's have the boot off and have a look inside the turn.
There is a Series 8.
Norman Howell is McLaren's press and PR man.
And it is...
As he gets the latest briefing on the engine from Ron Dennis, he knows what his challenge is this weekend.
What Bennett have been saying, and parts of Ford have been saying, is that, yes, we would get the air valve engine at Silverstone, but they would get that extra spec. And yes, that press release went around last week, as you know.
One of Norman's jobs is to get the team noticed. If the cars are winning, that isn't too difficult. But even with the new engine, the cars won't be as fast as the Williams. So at Silverstone, Norman is planning an unusual initiative to get additional media attention. Ekram's team is equally determined to get the attention of their Italian guests.
We're just changing the nose over now so we can show the Beluki people how the car will appear with their identity on the car, and we're doing it right now whilst they're going around the factory.
All I can say is no way that I can say to you, Malcolm, we can do a one-to-one mail on Sunday, you know, Malcolm Foley with Ayrton Senna before Silverstone. I doubt if we can do it there. If you can grab him, that's great. But I'm still not in a position to say I can deliver Senna.
Yes, it's good. Yeah, it's a nice definitive logo, and I think it stands out well. Yeah, I think you'll see for yourselves the reaction will be very positive.
We was very impressed by the...
Small surprise for you. Yes.
Silverstone, the British Grand Prix. Here, tobacco sponsorship on television is banned. Mclaren gets to promote its own name. This weekend's marketing initiative will be used to help Manchester's bid for the Olympic Games.
What we've got set up so far is that Manchester 2000 have agreed to appear on our front wing. We have Sally Gunnell. Well, we're chasing Kenneth Clark, Chancellor of the Exchequer. We know he's coming anyway. We know the government has backed this bid by Manchester, so it's only right that we should go for him, and hopefully only right for them to support us.
Meanwhile, Ekram's bid to win over Beluki is reaching its climax. The would-be sponsors have been driven up to Silverstone to meet Ron Dennis.
We've had a good discussion in the car coming up, and really we need to just discuss with you the kind of terms that we've agreed in principle between us.
Ekram's sales pitch has worked. On the way up, he clinched the deal.
It's almost like...
Ekram and Norman would like to get as much exposure for the team as they can, but competition for coverage is fierce.
The Rain Man, again, positioning him as the Rain Man. Senna needs worse to the weather if he's up to a central order. But that's nice, eh?
You see, what our problem still, we're not thought of as a British team.
Yeah.
Lotus are thought of as a British team, obviously.
Yeah.
Williams are, but mainly because of Mansell. Not Damon, but Nigel Mansell. And we're not. You know, we're something else. We are some sort of international hybrid.
Maybe this weekend's run with the Olympic logos
exactly.
will change.
This is a way of doing it, you know. We have spoken to the Manchester 2000 bid people, and we're carrying their logos on our car this weekend. Now, obviously, we would like to enhance it as much as possible. And through our own contacts, we heard that the Chancellor might be coming, and is coming, in fact, apparently. So we would like, if at all possible, to have his support for this initiative.
The surest way to get your team noticed is to win. But in recent races, McLaren's lack of speed has made this less likely. So the press will be interested to know if the new Cosworth engine has improved the car's performance. Norman finds out from the drivers.
Any problem with... what about the engine? Doesn't feel any different.
It's no good. I mean... same.
What about the engine? Does it feel different?
Yeah, of course it feels different. It drives more, and I think I have a little bit more mid-range. Silverstone, from the latest circuits we've been running, is a real circuit for a racing car. And I think if we didn't have the engine, we would be even further behind.
So not fantastic news, but as good as we can do, considering.
Could have been a lot worse.
Okay.
Business is business.
Business is business. Yeah. Franco, you could sign here.
4 and
first of many. This is the one we put some more notes on. Thank you very much. Welcome to Mclaren.
Meanwhile, it's business as usual on the track.
George, what they've done with Beluki for the wing mirrors, they had a problem in getting them to the right, in getting them to the size and printing them out on the sticker machine and cutting them out. So what they've effectively done is given us transfers. Okay, model wheel JH in.
Right.
And we'll get the approval, and then from that moment we can go with them. Last night the final decals were made for 2 positions. One which is the rear view mirrors on the car. The other is an alternative nose position. For the rear view mirrors, we don't hold the rights to that positioning on the car at present. So the process that we have to go through is a very clearly defined process. Put them on the car at the moment. Ron Dennis, our managing director, needs to sign them off. If he's happy with that and the balance of the branding, then we will get some senior representative from Philip Morris to give us a stamp of approval on them, and then we're up and running.
Hello, Malcolm, it's Norman Hull. What also happening tomorrow is that there will be royals here. There's also the possibility, and I don't know if it would interest the Chancellor, that we will have road car here, McLaren's road car, which is still in a prototype stage. And we will put the Manchester 2000 stickers and logos on it. And we were wondering if the Chancellor would be interested in doing a lap of Silverstone in the car, with a driver, obviously.
Ex-IndyCar champion Michael Andretti has been an added problem for the team image. In his first 8 races in Formula One, he has crashed out 4 times. But because he has often tested the car here, at least he's familiar with this circuit. Michael's performance is not very encouraging. Team manager Dave Ryan is far from happy with this latest practice.
If you've looked at the times this morning, you'll see how slow we are. And I think we're 8th and 19th or something on the grid at the moment, which is unbelievably slow. I wouldn't say it was the engine. I think we've taken a serious step backwards on the car at the moment.
You know we have Sally Gunnell coming, the Olympic gold medal winner, to help us in Manchester 2000 with her husband. Obviously we promised them VIP treatment. The situation with him is they don't know where he was, an hour ago this was. But basically they think he's sleeping, he's just lying there.
Well, it doesn't matter, just
I'm letting
happen, so it does happen.
In the event, McLaren's drivers end up 4th and 11th on the grid, so they will be hard-pressed to get into the points. For the men charged with projecting the team image, tomorrow is going to be uphill work.
At midday, we will unveil the Manchester 2000 logos in the front wing of the car. Depending on how we're positioned, we'd like it to be as near as possible to the front of the car, maybe half leaning down or something like that. So the picture has you and the Manchester 2000 logo.
Next stop to get former world champion Jackie Stewart on side.
2 things. I would like, A, your help,
yep,
which means possibly standing near our car at some stage and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, that's what I'm putting it to you. B, is it possible that if you're taking some rolls round, you could also take them to our pit? This is,
I'll be doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which roll is it? Is it Michael?
No.
It's higher than that. I know, everybody says
I can't tell you who it is because of security, because one of them's easy, but the other 2 are difficult.
Right. The thing is that we were caught out by Lady Di. We'd like to give some presents, some program. The kids are coming round too, aren't they?
Yeah, but that's a bad time to do it. It's better to get them over here because they're going from there somewhere else.
Good afternoon, everyone. As you know, it's British Grand Prix is our busiest Grand Prix. We have 150 guests here. The people over in the, a lot of people in the in the pits supporting the cars, the Grand Prix team, obviously, 50, 55 people. And of course the most essential ingredient, the drivers. One of the drivers here, Ayrton Senna, well known to you. Just like to pass you over to Ayrton. It's an unrehearsed quick visit. Mika,
Joe Wingham, can you hear me?
Yes, he's on the line.
Do you have any idea where Segundo is? Because we've only got about 5 minutes left with the car, because then they're going to start working on the T-car. Ah, here we are.
Sally, can I introduce you to Mika Hakkinen?
Hi, nice to meet you. Hello. Congratulations. Yeah, brilliant. You've done it before. Ah. It's very heavy. Really heavy.
Okay, yeah.
We're coming a little bit fine.
Okay.
Have we got a final decision?
Yeah, we've just had the go-ahead. Yes.
Yeah?
Okay.
Oh, good.
Everything's good. A little bit pressured, 1 hour to go before the start of the race. Just got the okay on the Baluki decals, and so they're being applied to the car, as you can see. On the Manchester initiative, I think we got some good visibility from this morning. Missed out on the Royals, unfortunately. Got another opportunity, perhaps, to catch them out on the grid.
It's less than an hour before the start of the British Grand Prix. McLaren's hopes of getting a result, with all the favourable publicity that will bring, depend to a large extent on this man, Ayrton Senna. What the public doesn't realise is that his contract has only just been signed. The start is minutes away. McLaren's marketing arm is still working hard to promote its team. Norman Howell has one more card to play.
So Norman Howell, Director of Communications at McLaren. We've got a message through to your office. We're running the Manchester 2000
Okay, right, sure.
And we would love just a few seconds. We have Sally Gunnell here, who's supporting our bid.
Okay.
So I was wondering if we could have you...
Okay, where do you want me?
Car here.
Okay.
I think it's a worthwhile thing to do, of course.
Okay. So what do you want me to do? Just stand by. How do you get me and the logo on the same shot? Do you want me to crouch down by it? All right.
Tommy up here with his mic.
Okay.
I think we actually ought to think about taking it back now, so we have sight of the race.
Yeah. Okay. Before they close everything. Right, mission accomplished. Ciao, Ezio.
Hopes are high in the pits for a successful start, but for Andretti, they are soon dashed. There will be a press release at the end of the race, so Norman needs to know what happened.
They all went wide, and I had to go wide, and I got in the loose spot.
The button, or had the engine
No,
stopped?
it's in. It was in enough that there was no way. But it was sorry. I mean, I just had a nice start. I thought we were really looking good.
I mean, nobody's fault.
While Senna continues to fight it out on the track, the team is in with a chance. After some early dueling at the front, Senna settles down among the leading cars. Then on the last lap, with at least a third place assured, disaster strikes. Senna's car slows down and stops. For both drivers, the race is over, but not for the marketing team. In fact, for Norman, the hardest part is still to come. He must face the press. First, he needs to find out what happened to Senna's car.
What happened? Guess. No.
Petrol. It's a fuel pressure. What seems like
yeah, the fuel pressure's dropped just before he stopped.
It seems a programming error caused the problem.
Tend to suggest that the car's run out of fuel.
And so to the last task of the day, the press release. It's time to find the silver lining in an otherwise gloomy day. After all, at McLaren, you never lose. You just don't always win.
We wanted to push Manchester 2000. We managed to get that across. We had the new sponsor in Berlucchi, Italian wine makers, and we're in the car.
Yeah.
We've tried a new engine. Works. We've got Senna on board. As you know, this was the weekend when he really signed. I don't think it's negative. And this is a team that, as you can see, everybody's calm. Nobody's holding their heads down, shame and horror.
From a business standpoint, actually a very successful day. We were entertaining a huge number of people in our VIP area today, over 250 people. And that's the opportunity for our partners to capitalize on this opportunity. That aside, the Berlucchi logos did go on the car, in fact, prior to the race. That was another success story in a sense. Ken Clark did come on the grid. We managed to get him there with Sally Gunnell, endorsing the Manchester 2000 bid. And all in all, I think from a marketing side, actually a fairly positive day.
To take part in Formula One, you first have to build a car. To have any chance of winning the championship, you will need space-age materials, state-of-the-art technology, and a room full of computers. McLaren has them all.
Everything on the car essentially is automatic. It's what we call fly-by-wire. There's no physical link between the driver and the rear of the car at all.
These are the governing body of motorsport say that you've got to have a car at a minimum weight, 505 kilos. And the penalties are very strict if you're underneath that weight.
This is the steering wheel they use. Basically it's all automatic, but this is how they change gear now, with these little paddles behind the steering wheel.
It's carbon fibre, but it's got a honeycomb infill, and that's built to withstand a fair degree of pressure.
The brakes we use now are carbon fibre. They're carbon fibre pads, carbon fibre discs. It's about $15,000 for one set of brakes as well.
Their engine management system and the electronic brain here controls suspension, throttles, and the gearbox changing.
We now have an active suspension system which keeps the car at the right attitude wherever it is on the circuit.
The System Atlas is our own system, actually designed and manufactured. It stands for Advanced Telemetry Linked Acquisition System.
Yes, what we see here on the screen is a collection of all the data we receive from the car, either via telemetry link, which means by radio, or when the car comes into the pit. This is actually where the car is at this moment in time. We have displayed the gear selected by the driver or by the gearbox along the racetrack. This type of display allows us to evaluate whether the gears selected are exactly as you need to have optimized lap time. Another important screen throughout the race is that screen on the top, which is a so-called bar graph screen. What you have here is, like in a thermometer, different parameters displayed, and if they get critical, then they change the color. Here, as you see in one example, red, where the oil pressure is too low, or here blue, where the lap time was too long, and therefore something must have happened to the driver. What we see here is the red line is the engine rev. This light blue one is the speed of the car. The dark blue one is the acceleration to the side inside the car, lateral acceleration as we call it. The green one is the acceleration in direction of the driving. The white one is the position of the butterfly, whether the driver puts down the accelerator or not. And this pink one is the gear selected by the driver or by the gearbox.
To build cars like these requires a combination of research lab and factory. At Woking, Mclaren has created both, and they're the envy of Formula One. The test rigs, the electronics, and the high-powered computing would do credit to the aerospace industry. Here they design and build a new car for the start of every season, and then spend the rest of the year working to improve its performance. As each new modification comes off the computer and out of the workshop, it is tried out on the track. Mclaren tests a lot. This year alone, their 19-strong test team will spend 78 days evaluating everything from aerodynamic settings to software packages. Today, they're testing a new version of their Ford Cosworth engine.
All right. Can I have a feedback from the engine and gearbox gentleman to see if there is any tweaking and tuning on the engine to do? I wish to have another set of tires.
Rich.
Manager Dave Ryan explains the importance of this test.
We want to win races, we want to win the championship, so it's a pretty good car. The car can be better, and the engine can be better. We've got to try and squeeze every bit out of it we can.
Driving for the test team at Silverstone today are Michael Andretti and test driver Mika Hakkinen. Supervising the work on the new engine in Mika's car is race engineer Giorgio Ascanelli. He knows why he enjoys testing.
More technical involvement, I'd say. Technicality is more important than rapidity of operation. I mean, what you do in the race meeting is really looking after the change of the circuit, looking at what the opposition does, but really you are tuning the car to the needs of the moment more than doing some serious technical exercise. Testing is more enjoyable. It's harder work, and it can be pretty frustrating as today, but still I prefer testing.
Yeah, I mean, these two back here don't look like they're working, do they?
No.
So, did you say?
Well, either we've got an irregular spread of mixture, or we're running with 4 cylinders.
The front two are bright red, and the back two are...
Well, it's a different shape, obviously. These ones are always going to glow better than the others, but I think we're missing 4 cylinders.
Testing in Formula One is an exacting business. So many things can affect a car's performance on the track that it's often hard to measure the impact of the modification that's being tested. Wind, weather, or a marginally changed setup to the car can all add seconds to a lap time, or even the performance of the driver. In this test session, a crisis of confidence seems to be affecting Mika Hakkinen.
At compass, you accelerate more and more.
The problem
further you go through the corner, more the rear end goes like this. The more it goes like this, finally it snaps away like the rear tire. Yeah.
So you've got the power understeer, and then in the middle of the understeer, all of a sudden the rear gives up and goes away from you.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and and the car wants to swap ends.
That's right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So effectively, as you are scrubbing speed off and the front gets too positive in the entry of Beckett, you will have the front rider correcting and coming up a little bit to avoid the rear. Yeah?
Mm. Yeah. Keep thinking about it.
Okay, stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
Think to drive the car. Go quicker. Once we've done that, we do the weight at the end of the day.
Okay.
Yeah? I promise you, swear. 5 laps again. 5 time laps. You'll have the ball.
So far, the new engine doesn't seem to be performing as well as expected. Head of the test team, Pat Fry, thinks he spotted a problem.
Watching the car during the start, the on and off the throttle, the car is jumping. Not much, I mean, 3 mil at the front, 4 or 5 mil at the rear. It's strange. That's what it looked like anyway. I can't think of any static. We shouldn't have any correction at 0 speed. Unless you've got a pressure problem, or unless... Well, you can't have a pressure problem when you're revving your bollocks off it, can you?
Giorgio has to find answers to some difficult questions. What's the reason for the car's lack of performance? Is it the new engine? Or is it, as he increasingly suspects, the inexperience of the driver?
I just wouldn't like to have introduced a variable on the car, which may sort of change the kind of judgment which we are giving to this experiment. If you do have a problem, if you think that you're losing time car-wise, you should tell so. The other thing is, Michael has just run at 22.8. I understand this path-through bridge. I'm getting a comparison of the 2 laps.
I mean, the only big thing we've changed since yesterday is the nose assembly, isn't it?
Yep.
He's been losing nearly a second through the complex, hasn't he, to Michael?
I know. Are we saying that he's lost interest? Could be, huh?
Lap is same.
Well, looks like you're losing a lot under braking there.
In here?
Yes?
Even I'm braking very hard, you can see it. Can't brake hard, it doesn't stop.
Okay.
Yeah. The second thing is, when I come to the complex, I lose in the back end. Very easily. Is it because the brakes, or is it because the wind? I believe the wind is not much different than yesterday.
Wait a second, we'll come back to this.
Okay.
And then you're coming through the straight, and you are exactly the same as yesterday.
Yeah,
so if I have to judge it, we've got a car problem, we haven't got an engine problem here. You say that the circuit is different yesterday from today. This is Michael's time. You are the black, Michael's is the green. Of course, he's pulling less speed because he's got more wing on. Then he's braking a lot later in through Beckett.
He's the black one.
You are the black one.
Yeah, okay. I'm braking later. Yeah?
He's braking later.
Right.
We've got a car problem or a brain failure. So, a problem of driver confidence. He's coming to the garage, he's coming into the track, he's told us that the engine had no power. Fine. Michael wasn't out yet. We had no reason not to believe him because we didn't have any comparison. Nobody else was out in the time. Michael went out at the 22.8. He started looking at the numbers and he it's going in the corners, and then the engine doesn't appear to have a problem. Now he's not gonna drive it. I mean, I bet that if you change the engine, as soon as you give him the excuse, carry on, he's going to carry on and be quicker again. And the fact that we're running a gurney flap or not is irrelevant.
You can demonstrate that to me, can't you?
Yes, I will.
and then I'm happy.
Right.
It's rare for one test to provide definitive answers. The Formula One car of today is too complex to allow for easy solutions. As far as McLaren's new engine is concerned, Giorgio thinks he knows what is required.
I cannot say that the engine has got more power or less power. I can say that the engine is different. I'm sure of one thing. We haven't worked long enough on it to establish the true limit of this one. I think there is a lot more to do.
Throughout the year, the program of testing goes on. The engine is just part of the package. As crucial to the car's performance are the technical devices McLaren has developed to improve the car's road holding, like the computer-controlled active suspension.
He's now idling at 4,000. I'm not going to send him out. We've had him.
But this season, a threat has hung over the team's use of advanced technology. Motor racing's governing body, FISA, thinks that Formula One has become too predictable. The front of the grid is too often dominated by the same few teams, because only they can afford the latest technology. FISA wants to cut down the cost and complexity of Formula One and make the competition more equal. But still, the announcement from its technical scrutineers in Montreal comes as a shock. At the Canadian Grand Prix, they suddenly decide that active suspension is against the rules. Ron Dennis detects a hidden agenda in the scrutineers' findings.
The governing body has quite clearly positioned itself to impose at every opportunity, every form of pressure to effectively achieve its goal, and that goal is to get Williams and McLaren to accept a banning of the technologies that they've developed and perfected.
FISA's council meets in July to rule on the decision. It's expected to support its scrutineers. But 3 teams have appealed. Operations Director Martin Whitmarsh is off to Paris to represent McLaren.
Obviously, an analogy is halfway through Wimbledon week, suddenly determining that the larger rackets that have been used for several years, have been seen, are well known and well documented, to suddenly decide that they're no longer legal and disqualify all of the participants who are using those larger rackets.
The Place de la Concorde is home to FISA's grand headquarters. Here, the appeals against the scrutineers' findings will be heard. If the council votes as predicted and bans active suspension, the 2 teams worst affected will be McLaren and Williams. Frank Williams, boss of the Williams team, has most to lose. His cars were specifically designed to use active suspension. They now lead the championship.
I have one also titled just a McLaren submission, which I'd like to show you. And if you're happy with it, we'll make a joint submission otherwise.
So today, the 2 arch rivals join forces to save the technology they've done so much to develop. After the hearing, FISA President Max Mosley confirms that from the German Grand Prix, active suspension will be banned.
We've probably been a bit slow in catching up on this. I'm ready to admit that, and we're going to change our procedures slightly so we're more up to date with what the teams are doing. But don't forget, the teams never come along and say, we're doing this for this reason. On the contrary, they try their very best to conceal what they're doing from everyone except their own people.
You can't imagine Wimbledon changing the rules halfway through the tournament. And what's your answer to that?
Well, it's very simple. You see, Wimbledon, you've got 2 bats and a ball and a net, and it really isn't that difficult. With us, the ball is something of enormous technical complexity. Just to describe the ball, it's the Formula One car, you've got a thick book full of regulations, which even the teams don't always fully understand. It's a very, very difficult sport from that point of view. We do our best, and most of the problems disappear by mutual agreement, but they arise all the time, as you would expect in something so complicated.
Obviously, we weren't surprised. It was the outcome that we had expected. However, when you're confronted with the situation, you know the facts, you've given what you believe to be compelling evidence to support your case, then it's obviously very unsatisfying.
The judgment of Paris comes as unwelcome news to the designers and engineers in Woking.
And it's not as if these cars have only appeared this year. I was involved with the Lotus in 82 and 83. We raced an active car in 83 in 2 races. I was involved with the Lotus in 1987, where we raced it all year. And we raced against Williams then, who had a similar car. And then here, over the last couple of years, I think it's very sad.
It's a shame that, you're throwing away 20, 30 years developing and making the Formula One. Maybe we have to change the name. Maybe it shouldn't be Formula One anymore. I think Formula One should be the pinnacle of the sport, and therefore all of this new technology should be found on the Formula One rather than in the road car.
I think active suspension is something that is technically very interesting. I think it's a shame that we can't use it anymore. The majority of the teams have access to some system, and I don't think it's really excessively expensive compared to what the drivers are paid, for instance. So I think I can't really see on what grounds people are objecting to it so much.
Clutch move, because the clutch move comes from there. So if we remove those two, put the flushing blocks, those we leave on.
Put the lift valve on there.
Yeah, the lift valve.
In Formula One, though, there's little time for sentiment. Now the immediate task is to work out what needs to be done to the cars, and then find out if they're still competitive without their active suspension.
Clutch valve you can leave on there because it takes its supply from there.
We have to take it off to get at them anyway, basically.
There's not a lot of time left. The FISA decision has come through just a week before the start of the German Grand Prix. There are just 4 days before the transporters have to leave for Hockenheim. 4 days to overcome this latest and unexpected technical problem.
The only purpose of the meeting was to make sure, it's for my benefit more than your benefit, to make sure we're all on the same wavelength. I feel that it would be worthwhile trying to run on Monday at Silverstone in a passive configuration to try and quantify what would really happen in the event that we wanted to run as an option passive in Hockenheim. If, for example, we're 5 seconds a lap slower in Silverstone, then it's going to be a completely different strategy to what we may consider to do in Hockenheim if it's 3/10.
Watch this space, like they said, so, yeah. All right, talk to you next week. Thank you. Bye.
Joe Ramirez moves into action to sort out the logistics of this emergency test program. This includes tracking down Ayrton Senna.
Have to find somewhere where we can test very quick and evaluate the car in, I guess, both passive and active suspension. Silverstone, which it wasn't available, we managed to convince them to have a day for us, and now they have made available the Monday. So we're going to test it on the Monday with one of the race cars that we have here to see what we find. So we have to find out organized tires and fuel, etc., and a driver and so on. Good afternoon. Can I have a racing division, please? Thank you.
Did you close that?
Yes, it's. I left a message in Portugal. It's left Monaco. There's no answer. I called Portugal and left a message to call you or me as soon as he gets in.
Yeah. So Kozlov is under control, the fuel is under control, the tires are under control as well.
Yeah.
Whole set of tires?
Yeah, they're being mounted tomorrow.
Okay.
Fuel, I don't know what Joe's trying to come
Yes,
up
we've
with.
got 33.
Bennett's going to be there in the morning.
Running passive as well?
With Cortos. David Cortos. Okay. I don't know what that is, but they've got a car and Rickard, don't forget.
Okay, no problem.
Giorgio will be in charge of the test.
Anything else?
I don't know, by the way. Oh, your gear, your clothing.
Oh, well done.
Stewart. Yeah, fitted Stewart.
The people who have never been able to perfect active ride are smiling at the moment, but because they think they've made life easier for themselves. But those are the people who couldn't win if you gave them an army of technicians and many more millions of dollars than we have available. And these circumstances aren't going to change anything. You know, the people that are the best to still win.
2 days later. It's testing time for the old suspension. For the moment, the new technology is sidelined. Springs are here again. And so is Ayrton Senna, who's flown in this morning from Lisbon.
Got nice and early this morning?
I was very, very early this morning. Very, because I was in Portugal. So, 30 degrees.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
So, to get me over here on a Monday, that early in the morning.
Giorgio is relaxed about the loss of his computer-controlled suspension.
Oh, I'm back in my natural habitat. After 10 years of doing the job without computers, I had a break of 8 months and I'm back without computers. It's okay. About as quick as this car has ever been in passing through.
Ayrton Senna is also taking the possible end of active suspension in his stride.
It's just different. You have to get your mind back together again to work in the old way. It takes some time, takes patience. It's like you're working with a new car again, and you need time to get on with it and learn about its characteristics and how to attack it to make it better in different ways.
You know, in the low speed here, at the complex, you have a lot more rear end in the car. And front end, I have much more grip. I don't know if it's the same. Feel, good grip. As I position the car into the apex, then I'm no longer going like this or like that. No, the car is straight, I can go full throttle, lift and go the next one. It doesn't push so much the front as usually it did. It's not too bad.
Well, it's early days yet, but so far it's not been as bad as I thought. And reasonably encouraged, I guess.
So once again, testing has uncovered some surprising results.
It is about that. It's between 1 second and 2 seconds slower, which is not a great deal, I think. The other thing is, in actual fact, I think that we discovered something which was implied in which we wouldn't have seen and found if we were following our normal route, which is interesting, I'd say.
In the event, active suspension has a last-minute reprieve, and its use is allowed until the end of the season. And so, come rain or shine, the testing program plays a vital part in McLaren's Formula One challenge. This year, the test team gets used to the roar of the new 12-cylinder engine from Lamborghini, as they put it through its paces in a specially built, unliveried car. They find an extra half-second a lap with new power brakes. And by the season's end, they've tried out nearly 100 different versions of the car's computer software. It pays off. Ayrton Senna ends the season by winning the Grand Prix in Japan and Australia, bringing McLaren a total of 5 victories and a world record 104 wins. For the team, this commitment to technical development is the name of the Formula One game. They can take a ban or two in their stride. But they'd be happier if people didn't keep changing the rules.
The competition in Formula One is not just the drivers. It's about a team against another team. The driver is the leading edge of that team. And behind him, you know, here we've got 300 people working to give that driver the best that we can do. And therefore, we as individuals compete against our respective individuals in other teams. So I'm competing and Giorgio is competing against equal engineers in Williams or at Ferrari or Benetton. And that aspect for us is important.
Yeah? Okay, pressure on.
By our efforts, if you like, and by the efforts of our counterparts in other teams, we have raised the technology level, the game, and aspects of the competition to where we are today, which has now been wiped out. The reality of the situation is we will not weep for too long. In other words, come tomorrow we'll be, or come the end of the day, we'll be competing again against the same guys to do a better job at whatever the rules will allow us to do.
Aiming to be the most successful in Formula One history, the team returns next Friday at the earlier time of 8 o'clock.
Adelaide, home of the Australian Grand Prix, and the last race of the Formula One season. For many, it's a favourite.
The climate's brilliant, the weather's usually good, and people are fantastic. The whole town turns out for it, it's all taken over by it, and it's a good way of ending the season.
This year, Adelaide is something of a landmark for the team. After 6 years and 3 World Championships, Ayrton Senna is about to have his last race in the familiar red and white car. What's more, if he wins here, it'll be an historic victory.
At the moment we have 103 Grand Prix wins, same as Ferrari, which we equal in Japan. And if we do it, it means that we'll be the most successful Grand Prix in history so far. And I think that's obviously a very personal record that we would really dear to have.
I mean, Ferrari's the ultimate, really, and to sort of beat their record would definitely be something, wouldn't it? Still, we'll see. If not Ayrton, maybe Mika might be able to do it for us.
This weekend, there is also an unfamiliar car on the Adelaide circuit. It's the brand new $1 million Mclaren road car, and the cream of Australian society is queuing up to try it.
Wow! What a wonderful car, the supercar by McLaren.
With one race to go, the team can look back at a pretty successful Grand Prix season. Manager Dave Ryan remembers its ups and downs.
It's been a bit of a struggle, but we've had similar equipment to some of the other teams down the pit lane, Benetton's in fact, and it's been good. We've measured ourselves against them. At times we haven't been as competitive as we would have liked to have been, and other times we've been better than them. So yeah, I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, Mika on that wheel there. Okay, few guys, if you want...
McLaren's head of communications, Norman Howell, reflects on the year.
We did better than it could have been expected. We started off with an engine that we knew would be less powerful than the Williams with a Renault engine, and the reason behind the horsepower. We've won races. We've discovered a new driver in Mika. We've lost Senna, unfortunately. But McLaren is not a team to dwell on something like that. I mean, a team ultimately has to be bigger than any of the drivers.
All victories are sweet, but some were sweeter than others.
I think without doubt winning the Monaco Grand Prix was undoubtedly one of the highest points of the year.
Probably Brazil and in Japan this year. It's good to win when you think you're not going to win.
I'd say Donington. The race at Donington was just magic. It was a team victory with a little bit of luck, but the whole team worked like a clock.
It's Friday afternoon and time for the first qualifying session. The team is beginning its preparations for a race that could put Mclaren into the history books.
We're going to have 3 laps. I have a 3-lap run and then a 4-lap run. Is that correct? A 3-lap run and then a 6-lap run. And we 3-lap run and then a 6-lap run. Right. I was thinking about the wing level. Normally I wouldn't take wing away off the cab. When I look at the speed, we are so slow on the straight. If I want to go forward. So I don't know whether we should take some wing off the car. How about this? The next step down on this wing is going to be a 6mm gurney flap, which is going to pay for you only 1 kilometer per hour. Which is not enough. We can put an R1 wing on only for this run and just grab it instead of tires. You get a feeling and then you decide what to do for the next run. We've got 11.5 minutes from now, but we only need 9 minutes to do this run. Steve, low drag enabled. If you don't like it, then gearbox switch position 4, we'll turn it off.
On the street circuit of Adelaide, it is hard to overtake. On this track, the key to success is a place at the front of the grid. So here, a good qualifying performance is vital. Senna sets off at a blistering pace. There's soon a danger he will run out of fuel on the circuit, and the pit wall team decide to call him in. But his radio button is stuck on transmit. He can't hear his instructions and doesn't know why.
Come in very slow, you're running out of fuel. Why don't you talk to me on the radio? Very slow, radio stuck on. Very slow lap. Very, very slow lap.
Ironically, as he calls in vain to get orders from the pit wall, he drives the fastest lap of the day. He ends the session in pole position.
Just as well the radio button stuck. Quite useful, that. Jesus.
It's a good thing it did. You'd have told him to come in if it hadn't been stuck.
Yes, you did a good job. Yeah, I think...
Senna's record-breaking lap is a powerful reminder of what the team will be losing.
It's sad. Ayrton's been with us a long time. He's certainly one of the best racing drivers I've ever come across, if not the best. And he'll be missed, particularly when he puts that yellow helmet on and gets in the car. You know that whenever that happens, the guy's out there doing a fantastic job for you.
Well, it'd be very, very strange strapping somebody else in for a change. I'll miss him. I miss him a lot. He's so professional, right to the very last race, never changes. You always know where you are with him, and he's always been our trump card, really.
Never know, he may come back. But yes, it is sad. It is sad. It is emotional. I try not to think that it will be the last time. But,
maybe he'll appreciate us a lot more when he's driving in another team. I think there's a lot of upside to McLaren, and you really can't see that until you start to contrast it to the other way that people do things. And of course Williams is a great team, and I'm sure he'll win races, but you can win and you can be unhappy, and I think that's why Alan Prost retired.
Dressed for the last time in the McLaren uniform, Senna joins the photograph of the drivers in this year's championship. Missing from this group is Senna's colleague, American Michael Andretti, who began the season with McLaren but was replaced in the last 3 races by Mika Hakkinen.
I was sad to see Michael go, because I'm a great believer in going for it and right until the end, and so I was sad to see him go before the end of the year, and yet I'm very pleased for Mika to come in after all the frustrating time he's had at the back of the garage waiting for his turn to come, and come in with such a very good impact. So in that way I'm very pleased for him, and I'm sure he's going to do very, very well this weekend.
Ron Dennis has yet to sign a driver to join Mika, but he's always on the lookout, even at the most unlikely occasions. Earlier, at this fashion show, he had a chance to sound out Michael Schumacher, Benetton's star driver.
The thing to do is come and talk privately one day, away from everything. See how I think.
I believe really next year we see what is our team worth.
Yeah.
If they're really a team to go for the World Championship or not. Because this year it's all developed. Now is, I think, the situation where something big has to happen to be better. And if we can do this, then it's fine. If not, after this period, I think I'm in the right time to leave. But I have a contract, and as long as the team is not changed to me, I don't want to change the situation. I want to respect the contracts.
Absolutely the way to be, but at the right time.
Yeah.
Come and see, come and feel.
That's right. I'm sure I'm going to do this.
And look after yourself. Sometimes you're on the limit. You know, there's one thing that you can't replace. You know, you just look after yourself. You are horrendously impressive, and.
You think there's some problem coming up for me?
No, I didn't say a problem. I said,
what does it look like?
Just look after yourself, because when you're in the car, you're controlling your own destiny. You know, and there's only you that knows where the limit is. And sometimes, from the outside, you know, just looks right on the limit. You only get one chance sometimes at that. So just look after yourself.
The new boy, Mika Hakkinen, has a tough act to follow. 5 of McLaren's previous drivers have won 9 world championships between them.
Mika's done an incredibly competent job in the 3 races that he's been driving for the team. He's obviously quick. He's matured very well as a result of the work that he's been involved with regarding the testing program this year. He's very committed. He wants it badly. He wants to succeed. Of course, we put him on an extremely long contract with the team, and I'm quite sure somewhere in the not too distant future you'll see Mika as a world champion.
Okay, what I'm going to ask you to do on this run, the entry to this corner, this corner, this corner, and this corner, I'm going to stiffen your front to make the car more stable just through the turn-in phase by about 10%. the mid-corner and exit I'm going to leave exactly the same. Sounds good. Also, you're going to have the evaluation tyre, which is slightly softer than the tyre you've been running now. But it's also a tyre that we may consider racing. But I still want you to drive normally on this tyre. Tyre pressures on your last run needed to be up a little more, and I think that is your problem there, and possibly there. Clear. Remember to try your roll switch, which is your front stiffness, and your gearbox switch, which is your rear stiffness, if you need some help.
Mika's lying fourth at the start of the second qualifying session. Today, Mika's unlucky. His wheel hits one of Adelaide's high curbs and damages the suspension.
You lost it, went over?
What happened, I came under braking.
Yeah.
High speed left, right. I braked hard, turned in a corner, and suddenly I lost the back end. Slide backward over the curve. I stopped. The high curve is very high curve, but
Okay, so it was a curve that broke the wishbone. The wishbone didn't break.
I couldn't see it, but I was surprised I lost it control at that point. Was it a...
onto the straight, was it?
It was a really high-speed chicane.
Okay. So it was just...
Well, start changing it anyway.
Yeah, stabilise your entry. You understand?
Yeah.
Did that have anything to do with you losing the car?
Possibly, yeah.
In the second qualifying session, no one manages to beat the lap time Senna set yesterday. Given the circuit and the circumstances, he can never have won a more important pole position. It's also the first pole position for Mclaren for nearly 2 years, and the first for a Ford Cosworth engine for 10.
Here we did the second day, which was the slowest day. This year we did the first day.
The right day.
The right day.
So it means we learn.
Yes.
We have a very difficult task in our hands because for the race we are absolutely on the maximum, and we are not allowed to make a single mistake, be fine-tuned in the setup of the car or in the strategy during the race, in the rhythm you adopt throughout the race, overtake maneuvers, tire stops. We cannot mistake at all, and therefore that's I think a lot of pressure to get everything right on the limit, to be there and still having to fight them.
Good morning, John Williams with the 9 o'clock source update on what should be a fine and mild day, although cloudy. The biggest crowd in years is tipped for today's Grand Prix. On the line from the Grand Prix office, Mike Brewer. Now here's Noel Wilson, but at the track he'll keep us up to date with the Grand Prix during the afternoon on SAFM.
A final setting up. McLaren's happy with their cars. They're doing fine. Williams Renault, a bit of a problem with suspension. It's a little bit rough on this rather bumpy track we've got here. Pole position this afternoon belongs to Ayrton Senna. Next to him, Alain Prost. Behind them, we have Damon Hill and we have Michael Schumacher. So in front, you've got two of the pros. Behind them, two of what they call the young lions fighting for a win. And there are actually 5 drivers here.
Everything is very difficult. It's tight on fuel, it's tight on brakes. It's going to be a very long and difficult race. Tight on tires as well. The tires after 20, 30 laps are going to leave very little. Going to go down in performance, and keeping the car on the circuit is going to be difficult.
It'd be nice to get a good result today. Finish at the second in the constructors, but in reality, if we're third, as always, you know, it won't be of great concern to me because there's only one place that I really enjoy being, and that's at the front.
Two o'clock. McLaren's bid for a place in motor racing history is delayed by a false start.
Now back to the 5-minute board. No refueling. Back to the 5-minute board, please.
One of the cars further down the grid stalled its engine. They waved the yellow flag, then another car stalled. They abandoned the start. Those cars will be pushed to the back of the grid to the start. We're on the 5-minute board. In fact, I think they're showing the 3-minute board now. The race is reduced by 1 round.
I want another jump battery.
Prost was creeping forward as soon as he called for first. I don't know if it is deliberate or not. May have a problem.
Senna makes the most of his pole position. As part of the race strategy, he pours on the power to gain an early lead. His car is as light as possible. It has just enough fuel to last the race's 79 laps. Senna's early charge burns up fuel. He cannot keep up this pace for long, or he'll run out before the end, as he did at Silverstone.
3-1-6-0. -1.
Giorgio has to work out how many litres of fuel will be left by the end of the race. If the result is a minus, it means there won't be enough to finish. So right from the start, Ron is concerned.
There's the fuel. Look, at the moment we are really down to schedule, -0.2 litres. Of course, so if you multiply this for the enormous number of laps, it's going to make a bigger difference. So I think we're panicking for nothing. Yeah.
I'm not panicking. We're discussing it.
Sorry, we are discussing it.
Later in the race, Senna can drive to conserve fuel. He can also alter the engine settings to use a less rich mixture. Meanwhile, there are other key decisions to be made, like when to change tyres. Senna does not always agree with his pit wall team.
Stop 4 tyres.
He's saying no.
You are 4 seconds slower. Okay, what do you reckon? We try once more to stop him? The point is, at the moment, we have a 10-second buffer. We can stop by 10 seconds, still get out. Yeah, but he's got a lot of work to do, and we're light on fuel. With the lead, we can conserve fuel. Adjust it. No, stop! Stop this lap! Okay. 5.32, well done.
Mika is battling it out for 4th place. But after his tyre change, the team spotted something wrong with the car.
You calling him in? Got a problem. Got a problem.
The rear wheel was full of brake fluid, a lot of brake fluid and broken bits and pieces.
Davey, we should let's be geared to take the nose off and get the brake pressure and everything ready to go.
Ron, it's only 1 minute 20 laps. We have to understand the problem. It can only be a caliper.
Might be a loose nipple. Coming to the pitch, we're going to jack the car up. We're going to take the left rear wheel off to have a look. One of the crossover pipes has come loose. It's not loose, it's just leaking. Tightening it doesn't fix it. Keep his foot on the brake, it still leaks. Not a problem for Ayrton, don't worry about it. We'll lay his tyre, or tell me a set of tyres to lay out. We'll have them laid out, prepared. We'll get rid of all the Mika's stuff.
Okay, back to us. We are plus 0.4, sir.
With Mika out, all the attention is on Senna. He's in the lead, but a wrong decision could still cost McLaren the race. Now, strategy is everything.
I want to bring the fuel back, really positive, 20 laps on. Bring it back 3 or 4, don't worry, you know, let's get the fuel back. Now, just to show you that I'm not polemic for nothing, now's not the time. Let's get the fuel back in turning. How can I tell you? I've got one lap plus 5, the other one minus 0.8. Okay, I know, but let's get the fuel, whatever it says, let's go to a leaner setting and get the fuel as high as we can. Come on. Okay, I have the information myself. We have now 1 liter more in the tank than what we should have if we were using a constant amount of fuel per lap. And I'm sure of it. So you reckon we got 5 litres? I reckon we've got 5 litres.
Right, and Steve just confirmed that Giorgio is right on the button. 1.3 litres, exactly right. Okay. Sorry.
There are only a few laps to go.
Okay, I think we can give me now mixture 1 or mixture 0.
Now's the time to start saving fuel.
We all agree mix 1, just to get mix 1 on the bottom. Do you want to tell him on the radio without showing the board? Yes, take it off. Time wrong. So 15.8, 34, 35.2. Mix 1.
It's a big day for McLaren, very big day for McLaren, and Ayrton is going, but I'm glad that we did it with Ayrton.
Where's the champagne? All over me.